We will move to the part 2, that is the multiple choice question part. And the sixth question is about adding and subtracting polynomials. These are very simple problems. You have over here polynomials, that is more than one term. So binomial, trinomial, and so on. So here you can see the variable is c, over here also it's c. But you can see there's a minus sign in between. It means it's subtraction. So left side there is nothing, so you just start with 3c to the power 3 minus c plus 11. What about this side? Multiply this minus side throughout and it'll be minus c power 2 minus c power 2 minus 2c, and this minus and plus becomes again minus 8. You have to multiply this minus inside the bracket, so all the three terms will change their sign because it's negative. If it's minus over here, if imagine this was minus 8, then minus and minus it would have been plus. But here it's all plus inside the bracket, so it changes to all minus. Now group the terms. You don't need to do any methods. Directly you can solve it. Is there any other degree 3? No. So this is the answer. And what about the c power 2? There is only 1 minus c squared. How many c terms are there? It's minus c and minus 2c. Minus 1, minus 2 is minus 3. Because if nothing is there beside an alphabet, that means it's 1. Okay, we don't. You can write 1x or you just write x. It's understood there is 1. You don't need to write it always, So you need to understand it's minus 1, minus 3, minus 1, minus 2. That will be minus 3. So minus 3 what? C you should write. And lastly, plus 11 minus 8 would be plus 3. So this is it. That is the first answer. Very easy, right? That's the answer. Now there is a shortcut method as well. I mean, not a shortcut method, calculator method, but that is more complicated. But I'll show you over here. Since it's single variables, let us take our calculators. This method only works when there are 4 options given, but it's lengthy method. So what you need to do is first put the question over here. Instead of z, I'll put it as x squared plus x plus, now you need to put the brackets as well. I'm sure after this method you will personally choose the solving method rather than the calculator method, because this is just too long. And minus 11, I've just typed in the question as it is. Instead of the variable z, I put x because we can only put x in our calculator. Now then, you need to calculate x at a specific value. This is the calculate option. Calculate what value do you want to assume for x. You choose that value. I wouldn't suggest you to go with 1 or 0. Never choose these two values. You can go with 2, 3 and 4 and so on. You can go with 1.5, 2, 2.5 and so on. Now what I'll choose is, because it's calculator which does the work, I will choose calculate at 1.5. And at 1.5, we are getting the answer of minus 5. Okay. Now you need to look into the 4 options. See, this is one of the correct option. You will have 4 options, right? You need to type all the 4 options and check which gives you the same answer. See, x squared plus x minus 11. And now when you calculate at the same value, you don't need to type it out again because it's already saved. X is 1.5. Here also you get minus 5. Whereas all the other options, it might be 3x squared. See, when you calculate here, you won't get minus 5, it will be something else. Only one correct option. Now, it might be over here, again, x power 2 itself. See, I'm just giving you examples of different options, Now, this doesn't match. Only one value would match. That is the correct answer. Now, here, it is alpha x. Now, here, this is the exact answer, right? That will be one of the option, and when you calculate it at 1.5, it will give you the whatever we got for the question. So this is how we can tally it. That's the answer. Now I will show you over here, but it's complicated when we have 2 variables, x and y. In such cases, you can do the same method. It's just that you have to give x a single value. Like say, I'll give it as 2, x as 2, and y I'll give it as 3. Okay. Now I will show you how to solve it up. if it is two variables. If it's three variables, you have to give one more value. Z can be say 4 or so on. Now here, instead of 2, open the bracket, instead of x, sorry, I substitute 2 because x I'm assuming to be 2, minus 2. Don't put alpha x because there are two variables. You cannot input two variables. So instead of y, what do we do? Multiply it by 3 because we assumed y as 3, plus 1, close the bracket, minus, open the bracket, 3 times what is y? It is number 3, plus 4x is number 2. Close the bracket. What is the answer? So at these values, the answer we got at values, it is minus 18. The question, you need to double check it because sometimes you might interchange x to y, y to x, then it's an error. So it was 2 times 2 minus 3 plus 1 and minus 3 over here 3 and yes 2. It's minus 18. Now we need to see all the four options. This is the correct answer, right? I'll just type it out. Instead of x, what do you type? 2 minus 5, y is 3 plus 1. What is the answer? Minus 18. It should match. Only this matches, all the others will not match. Now, if you have any other option, say over here there was x squared. See, it doesn't match. Only one specific value matches, and that is the correct answer. So that's how we can eliminate the other three wrong options because it's choice part, right? Multiple choice. Eliminate the other options, only select the correct one. So that is the calculator method, but I will stick to the normal method because many students would prefer the normal method itself. Now I'll solve this one because it's the same method. X squared y minus 3x squared. Left side, let us write it out as it is. And right side it's plus, so I'll write 3y, and it's plus minus, it'll be plus, it'll be minus itself, 2x squared y. Now how can we simplify? There is x squared y, same terms, right? Same variables. So what is minus 2 plus 1? It will be minus 1. We don't write minus 1. I'll just write x squared y. And what about x squared? Let's write minus 3x squared itself. There is no other x squared term, but there is y. So plus 3 and 1 is 4y. That is the correct answer. Now here in your options, okay, now in this case it's fine. It's similar. They're written in the same format. Sometimes when you solve it, instead of writing this as the first term, you might write it at the end. That is absolutely fine. Look here, if you're solving it manually, you might write it like this, plus 4y minus x squared y. Now you need to see these terms. Is it minus? Yes, that's correct term. This is correct term, and the last term is correct, and that is absolutely the correct option. All the others would be different. Please solve these by yourselves. Okay, I would do this one because it looks a bit complicated, right? Now minus 8xy plus 3x squared minus 5y plus 4x squared minus 2y plus 6y xy. Next, what we do? Here, plus 6 and minus 8, when you add it up, it will be minus 2xy. Only this is the xy terms. And what about x squared terms? There are two x squared terms, plus 4 plus 3 is 7x squared minus 7y. That's it. That's the answer. Let's see what was complicated over here. Nothing. See, now over here, they have just done it differently. Ignore that method. I have written this absolutely correct, but it's just that these two terms are interchanged. You can see over here, it starts with 7x squared minus 2xy and minus 7y. Both are correct. So that's how we solve it. Please do try to solve. Method is always the same. This is r xt minus 8r squared x plus x squared minus 6r x squared minus 5. Both the others remain minus. Now then, which is having same variable over here? This is minus to plus will become minus. So now minus 5 plus 4 is minus r, right? Yes. R squared x. And what about x squared plus 2x squared? It's plus 3x squared. So that is Just check this. Oh, look at this. What a mistake I have done. This is r square x and this is rx square. They're not the same. I cannot write r square x minus 6rx squared. Be careful with the variables. Okay. So that is the correct answer. Remember, look at the variables. Now you'll have four options. Be keen on checking all the proper options and then choose the correct answer. Now here, you can try these by yourself. Um, is the highest power of the variable. It's power 2. Degree is 2. Now what about the number of terms? How many terms are there? 1, 2, 3. So degree D is 2. Terms are 3. What about over here? There is only one term. Degree I'll write first. It's 3 and terms are 1. Here there is 3 terms. The degree is 3 as well, power 3. So that's it. So that is what they're asking for. Now the first answer over here is having degree 2 and it's a quadratic. You don't, I mean, they've just asked degree. Degree is 2, terms are 3. Here they have asked degree 3, term is 1. It's just a monomial. Now this 42 is done later on as well. Now what about 39th one? Degree is 4, easily, and the terms are 2. It's binomial. What about this? Degree is 3 and 2 terms. 2 terms, degree 3. How many degrees are over here? 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 5 degree, 4 terms. Degree is 5, terms are 4. Terms are 3, degree is 3. Both 3, 3. And now we have to again find the sum and difference. But one thing before I conclude here, imagine I'll just give you a question, okay? I'll write it out over here. So you have x to the power 4 minus 3x squared plus 2 plus x squared. Just pause the video and try to solve this. If anyone has solved degree 4, yes, that's correct. If anyone has told terms 4, that would be wrong. Terms are 3. Why? Because here it's x power 4, but these two are same degrees. You need to simplify them. It will be minus 2x squared plus 2. It's trinomial, 3 terms only. So remember, if there are same degrees, you need to simplify and then you need to count the number of terms. If there were two numbers over here, if there was again plus 4, you should solve it. It'll be plus 6. It's not 5 terms. After you simplify, whatever the terms you get, that's the answer. I hope that's clear. And here we are finding the sum. It's the same thing, just there are many terms. I'll do the down one over here because there's degree 2 as well over here. Now 5a squared minus 4 plus a squared minus 2a plus 12 plus 4a squared minus 6a plus 8. Now what are the same terms? All these 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 1, it's 10a squared. And what are a terms? There are two a terms, that is minus 5a because, sorry, it is minus 2a and it's minus 8a. Well, because minus 2 minus 6 will be minus 8. What about the numbers? Minus 4, 12, it will be 8 over here, plus 8, it's 16. So that's the answer. This is 8 and 16. So we can leave it over there. You don't need to simplify, I believe. Yeah, that's it. That is the answer. Even over here, you can easily multiply the signs and solve them up. Last one, let's quickly do this one. It is 3c power 2 minus 7 plus 4c plus 7 minus c squared plus 5. Sorry, now minus has been multiplied. So it's not minus 5. It is, sorry, it's not plus 5. It's minus 5 and plus 8. Now all the squared terms. 3 minus 1 is 2. So it's 2c squared. And what about c terms? There is over here 5c, which I forgot to write. It's 4 minus 5. So it'll be minus c only. And lastly, sum this cancels off. It'll be plus 8. So that is the final answer. It's 2c squared minus c plus 8. That's how easily we can solve this particular question, and that's the end of question 6. Moving on to the question 7, we have to multiply a polynomial by a monomial. Here I will solve this one problem manually and then I'll show you the calculator method. But let's just do this one problem at least and stick to it, or you can just forward maybe 3-4 minutes and then you can directly see the calculator method. Now, since 7 is outside, it is distributive property. You multiply it inside the brackets. It'll be 7t squared plus 35t minus 9 times 7, or 7 times 9 is minus 63, plus t, that is equal to, here brackets are only, this t is multiplied inside the bracket for only these two terms. It'll be 7t squared minus 2t plus 13. You can get everything at one side, or you can just simplify from here. This is positive 7t, over here also same sign. So when you get it to the other side, it becomes other sign and cancels off. Now what about the others? Let's get all numbers to one side, t's to one more side. Now how do you move that? Which is the highest t? It's 35, positive. This is also positive. So totally 36 is one side positive. This is negative, it's smaller. So smaller moves to the other side. It'll be 35. Sorry, it's 35 t plus t minus this to the other side becomes plus 2t, that is equal to 13, and this number moves to the other side becomes plus 63. 35 plus 3 is 38t, and here we have 76. Now this is 40, yeah, this is 2. 38 times 2 is 76. So t will be 2. How? Because divide both the sides by 38 and you get t is 2. The same thing can be easily found in calculator. Let me show you all. You need your calculator for this. All you do is type this given question as it is, and the variable x, variable t is taken as x, that is alpha x squared plus 5x minus 9, close the bracket, plus x. That is equal to, t is x times 7t, that is x again, minus 2, close the bracket, plus 13. Now all you need to do is shift and solve. And this is not the answer. You need to press equal to after shift and solve. That is the answer. What is it? 2. Let's try one more. The answer is 2 over there. This is same. Let me try some different problem. Okay, this one. It looks a little bigger, but it's still the same. All you need to do is type it out as it is. For instead of z or z, we put x plus 6, close the bracket, minus 2 times z is x minus 4, close the bracket, that is equal to 7z, or x in this case, times x plus 4, close the bracket, minus x times 7 times x minus 2, close the bracket, minus 48. You do not need to put multiply after this z. You can directly put the brackets and solve it. Shift and solve, and equal to, the answer is 7.166. Let me just double check it. You know, I might have done some error. For x plus 3 minus 2 times x minus 4 equals 7x times x plus 4 minus x times 7x minus 2 minus 8. Okay, that's the correct answer then. It's 7.166. That is 43 by 6. Now, in your exam, you won't have this decimal. You will have a lot of fractions. Solve each fraction. 43 divided by 6 is equal to, now I need to go from this mode. Now let me do 43 divided by 6 is equal to 7.6667. So that's the correct answer what we got. That's how we can easily solve them. All these problems are similar. Please do them by yourself. Just put in the calculator, you'll get one correct answer. It's only one correct answer. Even this one is similar. And here is the same thing. Please do it by yourself and then check the answers. In your calculator, you can just plug all this. But instead of k, you should use variable x, that is alpha, and the symbol over here. And now let's look here. They're also same thing. I'll just solve the second 46th one. This one. 2 bracket 4x plus 2, close the bracket, minus 8 will be equal to 4 times x plus 3, and close the bracket. Now what is it? Shift and solve, and then equal to the answer is 4. Yes, that's it. And even over here, they are all same problems. You're getting only one unique answer. And similarly, you can do these by yourself and then check whether it's correct or wrong. One more thing, if at all you have issues in your calculator, just clear it. Clearing is very simple. Shift 9 3 equal an AC, and then if you type this out correctly, provided the variable you choose it as X, you will get the correct answer. That is how easily you can use calculator to solve the question number 7. The question 8 is to multiply binomials, and here we have real world problems. It's about playground. The dimensions of a playground are represented by width of 9x plus 1 feet, and a length is given over here 5x minus 2. Write an expression that represents the area. Area of a rectangle is given by length into width. So just you multiply these two terms because one is length, one is width. You can write it as width first, length second, it's up to you. Now here I'll just write length first itself. It's 5x minus 2 multiplied by 9x plus 1. All you need to do is just multiply them. It'll be 5 times 9, that is 9 5 is 45 x squared. 5 times 9 is 45, x times x is x squared. Then we multiply the next term, this is done, plus 5x times 1 is 5x itself. And then minus 2 times 9x will be minus 18x. And lastly, minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. Now we simplify this, it will be 45x squared minus 13x minus 2. That is the answer. So they just need you to write this expression as the area, right? That's it, nothing else. Now there is a calculator method which is also easy. It depends on how you understand it, but this is the easiest method, and this FOIL method is very important for you in the long run. That's why please do this. But I'll show you the calculator method as well. It works only when you have 4 options, because now question 8 is the electronic part. We can do this method. All you need to know is what do you have to multiply. So you have to multiply 9x plus 1 and multiply it with 5x minus 2. Of course, you can't solve this over here. It'll be wrong. This is not the correct answer. Now what you need to do is you need to calculate the value for any value x. Don't take 1 or 0. I would take 1.5 as x value, and I will calculate the answer. It is 79.75. Now the same thing needs to be done for the final one of the options, that is all the options needs to be inputted over here. Write them as it is. Minus 13x, write x as variable x, minus 2, and now calculate it at the same value whichever we considered 1.5. The area must match. Yes, and the value must match 79.75. All the other 3 options will be wrong. It won't be the same value. Only one correct answer. When you multiply this and the answer will match, that's the correct answer. But I wouldn't suggest you to go with that. Please go with the FOIL method, which is easy, just multiplying and directly solving. Let's solve these problems as well. Here again, they have told the theater seating. They have told so many rows and these many seats in each row. Number of seats. Okay. Now seating section with so many numbers of rows. Okay, these are the total number of rows here, and they have told the number of seats in each row. So basically all you do is multiply them with each other. It will be 3c plus 8 multiplied by 4c minus 1. Now in simple words, imagine there is 10 rows in a theater and each is having 8 seats each row. How do you get the total number of seats? 10 times 8, it's 80, right? So the same thing we are doing, but it's just that we have variable c. So multiply it. 3 times 4 is 12, c to the power 2 minus 3c plus 8 4s are 32c minus 8. This with this and this and this. You just have to simplify. 12c squared plus 29c minus 8. That would be the final answer. So this is it. And now let's look into this problem here. Suppose a rectangular quilt is made up of squares and has a length to width ratio. So now length to width ratio is 5:4. The length of the quilt is 5x. Okay, length of the quilt is 5x, and the quilt can be made slightly larger by adding a border of 1 inch square all the way around the perimeter. Okay, this is very important. Now imagine, just because it's told rectangular, for simplicity's sake, I'm just taking a random rectangle. Now here, length over here is added by 1. See, everywhere 1, 1, 1 throughout the perimeter. So there is a new length formed. Okay. Okay, that is a very bad drawing, but just everywhere throughout by 1 inch, 1 inch is added. Now, what is the new dimension? So the new dimension be 1 extra added, because this was the original length of 5x, isn't it? Now 1 and 1 is added, so add them all up, it'll be 5x plus 1 and 1 is 2. This is the length. The width also changes. Now we know the ratio is 5:4, right? If this is 5x, then this should be 4x. So now it will be 4x plus 2 here as well. Why? Because here also there is a addition of 1 and 1. These are your dimensions. Now you just have to multiply them up. 4x plus 2 is multiplied with 5x plus 2. Now you can do this by 20x squared plus 8x plus 10x plus 4. The answer is 20x squared plus 18x plus 4. This is your final answer. So that is the area for this particular dimension. So yeah, it should be 18. Yes, it's correct. 18 plus 4. It's an inches squared. The area will be in power 2, right? Degree square. So it's inches squared. Now over here we have got a triangular shape. The dimensions are given. We have to just find the area, I believe. Yes, represent the area. So I'll directly do it. The area of triangle area of triangle is given as half base into height. So what do we have? Half, what is the base here? X plus 5, and height is x minus 5 by 2 is 2.5. You can take it as 5 by 2 or 2.5. It's up to you. Now let me solve numbers. I'll multiply it later. Let me do this right side only. So it's going to be x squared minus 2.5x plus 5x minus 5 by 2, it will be 12.5. So now here then, all I need to simplify is x squared minus, it will be again plus 2.5 minus 12.5. Now we have to multiply this half inside, so it will be x squared by 2, or half x squared plus 2.5 divided by 2 is 1.25, or you can just write 2.5 by 2, or you can write it as fraction 5 by 4, minus here we have 12 point will be 6.25, or you can write in fraction. So this is the answer. That's the area. Now you can see the final answer is not in terms of the decimals, it's in fractions. I'll show you how you can easily convert fraction to decimal. If you have fractions, so fractions I'll show you first. It's 25 by 4, right? Just press equal to and press SD, it'll convert to decimal. Or if you have decimal, just write them up. 6.25, it'll directly give in fractions. Or say if I have 1.25, directly it'll give in fractions. It's up to you to choose any form. So look into the options. If there is no decimal, then choose the, you can use your calculator and simplify them and choose the correct answer. Now here the last problem. Think of a whole number. Okay, we have to think of a whole number x. Subtract by 2. Okay, I'll do subtraction by 2. This is subtracted by 2. Write this down. Okay, this is done. Take the original number. The whole number we took was x, and add by 2. Okay, plus 2. Okay, done. Write this down. Okay, these two are written. Find the product of the number you wrote. Find the product of the number you wrote down. Okay, we have to just multiply them. X minus 2 multiplied by x plus 2. But let's finish the question first. Subtract the square of the original number. The original number which I took was x. I have to square and I have to subtract them. Okay, minus x squared. Okay, the result is minus 4. Oh yes, of course, if you add plus and 2. Why? Because this is differences of squares, right? I mean, This is a plus b, a minus b the whole square formula. What happens here? A square minus b square is the formula. So here it will be minus 4. Minus 2 square is 4. So x square cancels. Yes, of course. So we'll just solve this up. They're telling the answer will be minus 4. Yes, it will be minus 4 because if you multiply, if you remember this formula, a plus b, a minus b, is directly you can write it as x squared minus 4. But otherwise, I'll solve this up. X squared plus 2x minus 2x minus 4. This cancels off. And we have minus x squared. It also cancels off. Is equal to minus 4. Yes, it will be minus 4. That is true. Now, since this is in the multiple choice question, they may not ask you to prove it. They might ask you what will be the answer. See over here, the whole number minus 2, whole number plus 2, and subtracted by minus x squared. If you solve this up, the answer will be negative 4. So, that is the correct answer. And that's the end of question 8. Just a little bit of FOIL methods and real world problems. So, please carefully read the problem, understand what is given, and then solve them up. The question 9 is to find the product of a sum and a difference. Here basically we use different types of formulas. We use the sum square of two sums, difference of two sums, and then we have over here difference of squares. This can be interpreted as difference of squares, different types of formulas. Let me write each formula over here. A plus b the whole squared would be equal to a squared plus 2 times ab plus b squared. That's first. Next one will be a minus b the whole squared. That will be equal to a squared minus 2 times ab plus b squared. And lastly, if it was a squared minus b squared, we can write it as a plus b, and then we have a minus b. So these are the formulas. Now here, you can see this is in the first type. All you can do is directly square the first term, n squared plus 2 times n times b plus 3 squared. The simplification would be n squared plus 6n plus 9. That's the answer. That's it. Or you can also multiply it as FOIL. That is n plus 3 and n plus 3. And then it will be the same thing, n squared plus 3n plus 3n plus 9. And over here it will be n squared plus 6n plus 9. The answer would be the same any method you follow. And since it's the electronic part, we can even use the calculator method now. I'll show in a minute, but let me solve these here, this one. This can be written as x plus 4 the whole square because the same thing is repeated, right? If it's 2, 2, we can write it as 2 squared or x squared, right? Same way. And then you can use this identity. What about this one? T minus 3, it can be written as t minus 3 the whole squared. And let me solve it up. T squared minus 2 times AB. 2 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6, t plus 9. The use of these identities, you can directly write the answer. And no need of writing any steps because it's electronic part. Now you can see the answers are over here. Each of this can be written directly in calculator as well. I mean, you can verify these in calculator. Let's do that. All you need to do is your calculator, and let me write this out. Let me do with the first one. X plus 3 the whole squared. Calculate x at one particular value. I usually go at 1.5, 2, 2.5 and so on. It's 20.25 or 81 by 4. The same thing now, right? The given all these solutions needs to be written and checked. So here x squared plus 6 times x, because n is written as x variable, calculated the same value. Yes, this is equal. It's matching. Only one answer can match. Let me do the last. Let me do this one over here. So x minus 7 the whole squared. Calculate. Now, once I've already typed, you don't need to type it. Otherwise, if it's not 1.5, just say I'll show you over here. Press calculate over here and type 1.5 and then press equal to. It'll be save that calculation value. And here it is 30.25. And here as well, x squared minus 14x plus 49, calculated at the same value, it is 30.25. Same way you can try all these problems and you will get the correct answer in calculator or manual method, anyone whichever you prefer. Now this one over here, is in terms of the third formula, a plus b, a minus b. So you just have to do it as tm the whole square minus 3 squared. So it'd be 4m squared. You multiply the square to 2, it becomes 4. And m becomes m squared minus 9. That would be the answer. And that's it. So that is how we can solve all these problems easily. Please try them by yourselves and then you can see the steps and the methods are given and which formula is also specified here. Same thing over here. All are pretty straightforward and simple problems. Now even over here, just be careful. After the squaring, you have to square the number only. 3 square will be 9 and y square will be y square itself. Because 9y squared can be written as 3y the whole squared. If you multiply the squares, it will be 3 squared y squared and we write it as 9y squared. So that's how we do it. And over here now, this one is a bit interesting. Why? Because this entire thing is whole squared. Okay, this is, imagine it was a plus b the whole squared, but here a is n squared. What is the formula? It is a plus a squared plus 2 times ab plus b squared, right? Now here we must understand this a is n squared and b is r squared and then the whole square is there. So when we write it out, the square already has the formula. This square is from formula, but what is a? A is n squared. Then 2 times, what is a? It's n squared times b squared, sorry, r squared, not b. So here we have r squared plus, what is b? B is r squared, the whole square. So now when we simplify, it will be n power 4 plus 2 times n squared r squared plus r to the power 4. This would be the final answer. So we can see here, that's the answer. I hope this is clear, and all the other problems, even over here, just the m square is the double squared. So just be careful when you're solving that. You will have only the b term as power 4 and this b over here power 2. Then this is as it is. You square 2, it will become 4 and k squared will be k squared. Same way over here, you can see the steps. And now we will see some real world problems. The length of a rectangle is the sum of two whole numbers. Okay, the length of a rectangle is the sum of two whole numbers. Let me take it as x and y. Is that okay? Sum of two whole numbers, x plus y. The width of the rectangle is the difference of the same two. Okay, they are telling it's difference, x minus y. Okay, write a verbal expression for the area of the rectangle. So area would be, it will be x plus y multiplied length into width, right? X minus y. So this is x minus y. What is this formula related to? A plus b, a minus b. We can tell the area would be the difference of squares of these two whole numbers, or it can be interpreted in different ways. Over here, let's see what is told. The area of the rectangle is the square of the larger number minus the square of the smaller number. Since they have told it's two whole numbers, it's same. What I've written is x plus y, x minus y. We have to just write this, right? Imagine this was a number. Let's take x as 10 and y as 3. Over here, again 10. Because they have told it's a whole number, let's write 10, 3. Now here the area of the rectangle is the square, because when you multiply it, what happens? It will be the squared, right? X squared minus y squared. So here it will be 10 squared minus 3 squared. Is the square of the larger number minus the square of the smaller number. Can you relate that? That is what they have told. Now since it's in options, you can write and analyze it like this. Or you can tell the area is the difference of squares of the two numbers. That's also fine, but obviously the first one will be larger and then next one will be smaller, because area will be positive itself, right? So that's what it means. Now here we have, well, let's find the product of these two. What type of special product does it represent? Here again it is the same concept. It is a squared minus b squared, the first term squared minus the b squared. It is basically the difference of squares. That's the formula, or you can write it as It represents the product of sum and difference. Okay, basically you have the sum over here and the difference, you're multiplying them. It's the product of that. So you just use the formula, it'll be 10 squared minus 4t the whole squared. When you expand this, it'll be 100 minus 16t squared. That's it. That'll be the answer. We have an interesting problem here. A cylindrical tank is placed along a wall. See, you can see this is the wall and this is the tank. A cylindrical PVC pipe will be hidden in the corner behind the tank. Okay, this is the one. See the side view of the diagram. This is the top view basically. The radius of the tank is r inches. This is r. The radius over here is r. And the radius of the PVC pipe is given as s. Smaller is s and the bigger one is r. Okay, it's in inches. Use Pythagorean theorem to write an equation for the relationship between the two radii. Okay, we have to write how we can match by using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, simplify equation so that there is a 0 on one side of the equal to sign. Okay, basically we need to simplify everything and equation so that there is 0 on one side. Okay, we have to just get everything to one side. That's what they mean. Let's start solving. Here, if you look carefully, we can see this is the hypotenuse, 90-degree opposite. That is C, sorry. And this is A, B. And hypotenuse is given as C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, right? But now we have seen lots of formula R minus S. So that is like A minus B the whole squared. And here it is A plus B the whole squared. What are the formulas for that? A squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Whenever you're minus, if it's plus, it's directly plus. That's it. Now let's write all the substitution. So from Pythagoras theorem, I can write r plus s the whole squared will be equal to r minus s the whole squared plus r minus s the whole squared. So basically I have to apply the identity over here. That's it. It's r squared plus 2 times rs plus s squared. That will be equal to here r squared minus 2 times rs plus s squared plus again r squared minus 2 times rs plus s squared. This is the same identity. Now then, what we need to do is we need to try and solve this up. Here, if I take this r to the other side or this r squared to the other side, what happens is it cancels off, right? They are same terms, same sign. When moves to the other side of equal to, it'll be negative, so they cancel off. Even this thing. But not these. Why? Because if I move this r to rs to the other side, it's going to be plus. So that's the thing. But what I'll do is, since there are many terms positive here, I'm going to move this to the other side. Here it'll be r squared minus and minus is minus 4rs plus s squared, and I will get this to the other side. Again, we have minus 2rs. And over here, nothing is remaining, so it's 0. So basically, we have r squared minus 6rs plus s squared. That is equal to 0. That is the answer here. You can see that's the final answer. That's it. We have to simplify. You can just simply apply the formulas and expand it and simplify by cancelling the terms, whichever can be cancelled. And there is a part B. Write a polynomial equation you could solve to find the radius S of the PVC pipe if the radius of the tank is 20 inches. Now the tank radius, what is the tank radius? Tank is given as R, isn't it? See, they have clearly mentioned the tank is R inches. So basically R is given to be 20. How much would be the S radius, PVC pipe's radius? So here you just substitute this r to be 20 squared minus 6 times 20 times s plus s power 2. Now this is equal to 20 squared is 400 minus 6 times 20 is minus 120s plus s squared. That is the answer. It can be written as s squared first minus 120s plus 400. That is equal to 0. Just substituting 20 over here, and that's the answer. Okay, here they have taken it wrong. We have to find, see now, this is the correct answer, what I've written over here. Is that clear? Now here you can see we have to find radius S. S is not given. The tank radius R is given to be 20, but they have taken S as 20. The answer is almost same. It's just that instead of S over here, they have written R, which is incorrect. It should be S squared minus 120S plus 400. I hope that is clear. And that's the end of question 9. Another easy question. It's just that you need to know the identities. A plus B the whole square, A square minus B square. All these identities. Just apply wherever necessary and easily solve them out. Question 10 is about the exterior angles of a polygon. Here we have problems. They have given you the figure. We need to find x. Now you can see all the exterior angles are given. And we know the rule for exterior angle theorem. That is, when you add up all the exterior angles, let me start with 2x plus x plus 10 plus x plus 18 plus 3x plus x minus 1. And lastly, we have x. Because I started with 2x, right? Plus x. This all, when you add them up, it must be equal to 360 degrees. You might see it's similar to a circle, so when you add them all up, it'll be equal to 360. So you need to extend the sides and you need to know these angles. Over here there are 6 angles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Now you can directly put this in the calculator and get the answer, or you can manually solve it up. You can write 2x plus x plus 10 equals 360 and shift and solve, and you will get the exact answer as well. Now I will solve it manually here. 2 plus 1x is 3x, 4x, 7x, 8 and 9x. 9x. Now what is the numbers? 10, 28, 27, over here plus 27 will be equal to 360 degrees. Now take the 27 to the other side, it will be 333 and you have 9x. Now you need to divide this by 9. You can put in calculator and you will get the answer. The answer would be 37. Okay, I couldn't get it in my top of my mind. So 37 is the correct answer. Or you can just put that any stage, any step in the calculator to get the same answer. Let me do the next one as well. It's another easy one. X minus 11 plus x plus 10 plus 31 plus 2 times x minus 42 will be equal to 360. You can take all these numbers to the other side and leave only x over here. So it's x plus 2x. So it's 4x will be equal to 360 minus what? Here we have 31, 41. 41 minus 42 would be minus 1 minus 12. But this is minus 12. When it goes to the other side, it becomes plus 12. So we have 360 plus 12. That's 372 here. So here it's 40 times 4. 40 times is 360. 43, I believe, is the correct answer. So x is 43 here. Sorry, not 43. It's 93. I forgot to add the 50. Yeah, 4 5s are 200. 200 to 400. Yeah, it should have been 50 plus 43. It's 93. Sorry, my bad. But you guys, please use your calculator when you solve it up. Don't directly do it in your mind. And here the same way, you can just see the steps over here. Just add it all up, make it equal to 360, and that would be the answer. Now here the answer is not solved. You have to just divide this by 4. Since it's a fraction here, they have stopped it, I believe. Now this needs to be solved completely. X will be equal to 44 by 8. Now that is going to be 11 by 4. Okay, that is the correct answer. Or you can write it as 2 3/4. And over here it is x is equal to 71 by 4. You can just put in the calculator, you will get a decimal point, and that would be the final answer. So that would be the answers. And that's the end of question 10, which is a very simple and straightforward problem. Moving to the question 11, it is about parallelograms and rectangles. Here we have been given a quadrilateral. That means it has 4 sides, and they have told it's a rectangle. That means all the vertices or the edges are 90 degrees. If the measure of ADB, that is A, D and B, this one over here, is 4x plus 8, and then we have measure of DBA, this measure over here, DBA, is 6x plus 12. What is the value of x? Now then, we can see this is a triangle here. You know, A, B, and D is a triangle. Can you see that triangle up over here? So this triangle is having a total angle of 180 degrees because any triangle will have that. So if you sum up all the angles, you will get equal to 180 degree, and we know this is 90 degrees. So all I do is 6x plus 12 plus 4x plus 8 plus 90 degree must be equal to 180 degrees, or if you add them both they must be equal to 90. So we can just simplify it. 6x plus 12 plus 4x plus 8 equals 90, because if you take this 90 to the other side, it will be 180 minus 90. You can use any one of this formula. Now since it's an electronic part, you can just put this in calculator and get the answer. X value will be found out if you just equate it in the calculator. Now here it'll be 10x, and over here we will have 12 plus 8, that is 20. I'll take it to the other side. So it'll be 90 minus 20. So x will be equal to 70. Over here it's 10x. Divide both the sides by 10. X will be equal to 7. That is the correct answer. So this is how easily you can solve it up. Just realize this is a triangle. You know, the two sides and one more side is 90 degrees. So sum them up. Triangle angle sum theorem says that it will be 180 degrees. We have an interesting problem here. It's about the structure over here. Veronica made the pattern shown out of 7 rectangles with 4 equal sides. The side length of each rectangle is written inside the rectangle. So here, now 4 are equal sides. You can see there are some equal sides. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you consider this as well, it'll be 7 rectangles. Equal sides means it's a square, but let's consider square is also a rectangle itself, isn't it? And what else? How many? Now this measurement can be taken by yourself. It can be the inches or centimeters, but that'll be realistic. How many rectangles can be formed using the lines in this figure? Okay, so using these lines like this, how many can we do? Let's just see. This is one, the outer one, two, three, that's these only itself, the 4, 5, 6. 6 are for sure, but we can use the lines and make more. So I'll just change it after that 6. From here we can do this one, that is 7, and then we can add these to 7, 8, and this one also 9, this one as well, okay, outer one 10, and the whole thing 11. Only those, I believe. So let's write them out. Let's see how the solutions are there. Yeah, they have written it out. Let me write one by one. So here, first, only with the rectangle 8. Next one, only with 5, only with 3, only with 2, only with 1, and there's one more, okay? That's 1, 1, 1, 2. Okay, there are 2. So here we got 6. Then we can do with 1, 1. That's a rectangle over there. Then we can do with 1, 1, 2. That's another rectangle. We can do 1, 1, 2, 3. That's another rectangle. We can do 1, 1, 2, 3, and 5. That's another rectangle. Then the entire one will be 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. You can write it in a simple order, whichever you like. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So the answer must be 11. Let's just check. Yes, 11 triangles can be formed because we have to form them based on these lines or the boundaries, right? So that's the answers. Now here, what I would suggest is, since it's electronic, the options will be there, but this is the easy way to write, add 1, keep on adding 1, 1, 1 to it, rather than just jumping from 1 to 1. Here it's easy to add and then get the entire numbers. And the B part of question is, if Veronica wanted to extend a pattern by adding another rectangle with 4 equal sides, okay, another rectangle will be added, but the sides will be equal. To make a larger rectangle, what is the possible side lengths of the rectangle that she can add? Now here, what is this length over here? It's 8, right? So then another 8 is only possible, or she can add it over here down. What is the total length over here? 8 plus 5 is 13. So that'll be over here. It should be 13. It should be long one. So it should be either 13 or 8. That's the only two possibilities if she's going to add to the same figure. So it is either 8 units or 13 units. That's the only possible sides, because the side lengths are equal. So if it's 8, then 8 only. 13, 13 only. Now here we have another problem about rectangles itself. And rectangle ABCD, measure of EAB is given as 4x plus 6. Okay, DEC is over here. That is 10 minus 11y. And what next? EBC is 60 degrees. Now what else? We need to find what is the measure of x and y. So if this is 60, what is this? This is also 60. So what will be this angle over here? It will be 60 here. If this is 60 and this is total 180, so this is going to be 120. Over here it will be 120, or this is going to be 120. So 10 minus 11y is equal to 120 degrees. You can put this in calculator and find y. Now if you know this is 120, what is this here? 60 minus 90, because each ends of a rectangle are 90. 60 is over here, then this is 30. So then we have 4x plus 6. This is 4x plus 6. That's this angle. Plus 120 degrees plus 30 degrees will be equal to 180 degrees. You can just put this in the calculator also and find the answer. It's going to be 4x is equal to 150. It will be 30 minus 6. So x is equal to 24 divided by 4x is equal to 6 here. And what about y? Y is going to be, we have to take this to the other side basically. Or, let me just solve it like this. 10 minus 120 is equal to 11y. We are going to get 110 here. Negative is equal to 11y. Divide both the sides by 11. You're going to get minus 10 is equal to y. So the x value is 6 and y value should be minus 10. So those are the answers. 6 and this is negative 10. I hope that's clear. You can just put it in the calculator and get the answers directly. Find the error. Parker says that two congruent acute triangles can be arranged to make a rectangle. Acute is all less than 90 degrees, or it can't be more than 90. It should be like 60 60 60 or 65 65 and 50, something like that. We have two acute triangles. Let me put them over here. Another acute triangle. It'll be something like this, or I'll just like this. It'll be, I cannot assure it's going to be a rectangle. I mean, it cannot be a rectangle, I believe. It'll just be a quadrilateral. You will have four sides, but they're not going to be equal. Why? Because over here, if you have 60 60, it's going to be 120. It's not going to be a rectangle at all, because you can't make 90 degrees. Whereas Takisha says that only two congruent right angles can be arranged to make a rectangle. Yes, that's true. If you have two congruent right angles, the sides are all equal, and then you have 90 degrees here, right? So now another one over here, the congruent sides, these sides will be equal 90 degree to one 90 degree means all will be 90 degree. Yes, that is a rectangle. So who's correct? Obviously it's Takisha, which I just told you. Only two congruent right triangles can be arranged to make a rectangle, whereas Parker can make a quadrilateral but not a rectangle. Why are all rectangles parallelograms but all parallelograms are not rectangles? Okay, what is a rectangle? A rectangle is a quadrilateral which is a parallelogram and which is having 90 degrees. But what is a parallelogram? Parallelogram is generally drawn like this. I mean, these should be parallel. Any quadrilateral with four sides which is having two opposite sides, both the opposite sides are parallel, that's it. That's a parallelogram. Only, parallel opposite sides. That's the only requirement. Here, yes, of course, you must have parallel opposite sides. Yes, parallel sides, and that's what's for parallelogram. Okay, this is parallelogram. That is done, but there is one more important thing. Angles must and should be 90 degrees or right angles. Okay, GHT. So this is very important thing. So now if it's a rectangle, of course it is a parallelogram, so all rectangles will be parallelograms. But to be a parallelogram, you do not need to have this 90 degree thing, right? So this will be a parallelogram, yes, but you doesn't mean that this will be a rectangle. This can't be a rectangle all the time. This is not possible. So I hope that's clear. The reason is because to be a parallelogram, the quadrilateral must just have opposite sides parallel. Whereas to be a rectangle, it has to be parallel and it has to have 90-degree or right angle. That's the thing. So because parallelograms with not right angle triangles are not rectangles, that's the thing. And here with the equations of four lines having intersections that form the vertices of rectangle, verify answer. Okay, we need to write the equations. Let's look at the figure here. This is very basic four lines. Over here we have four linear lines, and this makes a rectangle. We just have to write the equation. So you can draw your own lines. Now I will consider this to be the center. It's written over here center, right? So what is this line basically? This line is at y is equal to 0. What is this line? 1, 2, 3, 4 at y is equal to 4. What is this? At x is equal to 0, and we have a line at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're drawing where at x is 6 here, at 0, at 4, but the value of x is 0 here, 0, 4, and lastly we have 6, 4, and this is 6, 0. So these are the coordinate points, 0, 0. And these are the equations, 0, 6, 4, 0. You can write your own rectangle as well with different equations. I don't think so such problems will come because you have to choose from the correct answer. They might give you this equation and then you have to just choose the correct answer. Here x is 0 and x is 6. Sorry, y is 0, y is 4, x is 0, x is 6. That's the. And we have to analyze. Danny argues that to prove a parallelogram is a rectangle, it is sufficient to prove that one right angle, it has only one right angle. Okay, do you agree? Yes, of course. Why? Because if you have, draw a counter example. Now, no, just imagine this rectangle. Your one side, this is a quadrilateral or parallelogram. You have 190-degree. Then what's going to be this? It's going to be 90, right? It's 180 minus 90. Then opposite is all equal. So yes, this has to be 90 because if one will be 90 from the rules of parallelogram, it will be 90 degrees. Or we have a theorem that states if a parallelogram is having one angle 90 degree, then all the angles will be 90 degrees. So that's this theorem over here. So parallelogram has one right angle, then all four are right angles, and then that is a rectangle. That's the concept. And that's the end of question 11. It's a bit of reasoning and understanding, but there is a high chance that you will just get a solving problem because it's a MCQ part, but just be thorough with the other questions as well. The question 12 is to solve problems using properties of kites. Here they have told this is a kite. It's a quadrilateral and there are some properties. One of the very important property of kite is one of the pair of sides, opposite sides, will be congruent to each other. Are these two equal or congruent? No. So then this will be equal to this. And we know the sum of all the angles will be equal to 360 degrees. So what we do is to find the measure of Q, which is x, let's write all the angles. 110 plus x plus 48 plus x must be equal to 360 degrees. You can just use your calculator over here and find the x value. Since it's electronic, no need of writing in any steps. But anyways, I'll solve it up over here. It'll be 158 plus x plus 2x over here is equal to 360 degrees. You will take this 158 to the other side. It'll be 360 minus 158. That is 2x. Now this will be equal to 102. It's 160. It'll be 100 plus 2. And it's 2x. X will be equal to 51 degrees. So the measure of Q is 51. It's very simple using the formula. And over here, my apologies, 360 minus 158 is 202, not 102. My bad. Please check your answers using calculator is very, very important because it's 258, 358, and then 2. And over here, it's 101 degrees. So that's the correct answer. It's 101, not 51. And try the next problem by yourself. You have to find the measure of D. It's the same formula. It's just the values are changed and you can get the answer by yourself. Over here are the steps. But please do these by yourselves and then check the answers. Now here reasoning problem about quadrilateral ABCD is a kite. Find BC. Write your answer in the simplest radical form. If you just use your calculator, it will automatically give you the simplest radical form. Now find BC. This is the value we need to find. We know this is 4, this is 7. You can easily use Pythagoras theorem, isn't it? BC power 2 will be equal to some square and sum these two sides. 7 square plus 4 square. Now you can find BC easily by taking the square root of 7 square, which is 49. You need to use your calculator here, guys. 49 plus 16. Just put this square root and square root. Here it cancels off. If you put this in calculator, you directly get the answer. So here it's 65 radical. So that will be the answer. And another question is to find the perimeter. Okay, we just now found this BC. Now we need to find the perimeter. Let's just quickly go back over here. Remember, these two sides are equal and these two sides are equal. So I know from here it is root 65, that is BC, square root 65. I know even this one is square root 65. I need to just find one more side. What is this side over here? It is square root of 11 square plus 7 square. All you need to do is put in the calculator, you'll get it. Over here it will be 121 plus 49. That is square root of 49, 30, 170. So this one is square root 170 and over here 170. So you add all of this, you'll directly get the answer. So you basically add all the sides, right? So we got 170. So it's 2 times 170 plus 2 times 65 root 65. Put it in the calculator and they have told nearest tenth. So 42.4 would be the answer. I'll show you in calculator. See this Pythagoras directly. 11 power 2 plus 7 squared. Answer is 170. Square root 170. Now here, since we have 2 square root 170s, we just multiply 2 times square root 170 plus, or you can add them all 4 times, but this will just save you time. 2 times square root 65. The answer is 42.2. And here it's the same thing again. What do you do is, this is 12, so this will also be 12. This is 20, 20. You just use the Pythagoras theorem to find the square, find the sides. You need to find both the sides. RH is told. Okay, it's only RH over here. So this is 20 and this is 12. They are equal. And then they have asked the perimeter, so you need to find the other sides as well. That will be square root 928 and then add them all up, just like the previous problem. And that's the end of this question. A very easy concept. It's about kites. Just remember a few properties of kites and then you can easily solve them up. Before we move on to the next question, a humble request to all of you. If you're finding these videos helpful, please do share it with your friends. Let them know about this channel. There are more than 1,000 videos related to math. Another humble request to all of you. Please do subscribe to my channel. I want to thank all those who have subscribed to it. As you can see, only 22.3% of my viewers are subscribed to the channel. It would mean a lot to me if you could just hit the subscribe button. The question 13 is about dilation in the coordinate plane. You can call it dilation or dilation as well. Now here they have given us the coordinates and they have given you the k scale factor. And they have asked you to find the new coordinates. All you need to do is multiply the scale factor throughout these values. So j will be minus 8 multiplied by 0.5, that's half. It will be minus 4. 0 will be 0. K is minus 2, 2. L is minus 1, 0. That's it. That is the points. And if you want to plot them up, you just have to plot it. And remember, whenever we delete something after the, applying the scale factor, that is always given as prime. K prime, A prime, X prime, or dash, you can tell it. This denotes the newly formed image. That's the deleted image or dilated image. So that's very important to understand. Here, this is the original image. If it's just J, A, K, or something like that, it's just the original image. So since it's electronic part, you don't need to do anything in detail. Just find the coordinates by multiplying the k values, and you can graph the coordinates. You can select it easily which is the correct graph. Even over here, now it's just that k factor is 1.25. Multiply throughout by 1.25 and you'll get the answers. Here you can see this is the graph. Over here again, it's the same thing, just multiply it out and you will get the answer. Please do it by yourselves and then check the answers. And same goes over here. Very simple problems. Now there's one more thing. Here you can see when the scale factor is less than 1, it becomes a reduction, a smaller image. Whereas if it's more than 1, it becomes an expansion, enlargement. It becomes bigger. Now here they have given us triangle J prime K prime K P prime. You can see this is the one. It's the enlarged image. Is the image of JKP. That's the original image. We need to find the scale factor. Scale factor K is always given as dilated divided by original. Now, you just count any one side, the easiest side. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the sides, right? 4. And what is it over here? 2. So dilated is 4 by 2, that is 2. The scale factor is 2. So you can see here, each side is multiplied by 2 and the new sides are formed. So that's the answer. And okay, now if you want the coordinates, how would you do the coordinates? You can just measure it out over here. The original image is having x of 2 and 4. K value is 4 and 4. And what about p value? 3 and 2. So that is the thing over here. They're missing with the p value. It's 2. Okay, since they're asking only sides, I guess they are just taking that. Now over here, what you can do is same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it'll be 8. You can just multiply this by 2. You will get the answer. Just look into the graph and find the coordinates. Very straightforward. And over here you can see the scale factor. This is the main thing because they have asked only the scale factor, and that's 2 what we did. Easily you can do that. That's it. Now if you look into this problem, there is literally no vertical or horizontal or vertical lines. You can't just count it. So how would you solve this one? It's not that straightforward, but there are plenty of tricks to do. Now one trick would be, can you see this point and this point here? Just try to measure the distance from here to here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and little 7.5, right? Now that is the image that's formed, not the original, that's deleted image divided by the original image. How much is it? 1, 2, 3. I don't think so this is very accurate enough because anyways, it's about 3. So now what we do is, yeah, it's nearer to 3. You can see it's almost, and over here it's little bit more, but I've taken it as 7.5. So see, you can, yeah, it's accurate enough. Yeah, 7.5 only. Yeah, you can take it as a whole number. You don't need to take it as 7.4 or 7.3 or something like that. Take it like this itself and you solve it up. You can put in the calculator and solve it. Over here it's gonna be 1.5 goes in this, so it is 2 times, and over here it'll go 2, 4, 5 times. It'll be 2.5 here. So this is the answer. That's the scale factor because they're just asking you the scale factor 2.5. So now the original image was multiplied every way by 2.5. Each side, if it was say 1 centimeter here, it'll be 2.5 centimeters in the new image. So that's the answer. Now let's just look into the things. It's now here these are not accurate. They are done some DG which is not even there over here. But if you look into other sides, which I just did, I paused the video and did it, you will get approximately 2.5. This is not very accurate, but you can just approximate it over there. See, for example, you can even take this side. Now you can count it over here and try counting over here. Though it's not accurate, but over here you can see it's nearly 1, 2, 3, right? That's the original. So original will be down 3, but what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 point something. Again, it is not accurate to take 7.5, but if you take it, okay, it's going to be the same thing. But even I tried one more side, it'll be approximately around this range. It might be a little here and there, but that's the thing. This is a bit inaccurate. This is an inaccurate answer because I checked -2, 1, 2, and 0, and 0 and 2. It's not accurate over here. See, it's not there, the point G. So that's the reason. But anyways, over here also -3, -1, 2, 3. There is no point at -3 and 0. So that's the thing. Anyways, over here, you can easily find it out. Multiply all the coordinate points by 0.25 and you'll get the newly formed coordinate points, and then you can plot it. Since it's 0.25, it's a reduction and this is the reduced image. Here as well, just multiply these and you'll get the answers. Very simple problems. You can in fact just look at these points, no need of multiplying, just look at the graph, okay? Easily eliminate the other graphs because this will be reduction graph. And then still, if you're getting confused, just see one of the points, only just focus on one point and easily find the correct answer. And here as well, you're expanded by 1.5. Here as well, we have to do the same thing, but now we have to find the scale factor. See, A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. Because it's prime, it's the deleted image. This is the newly formed image. It's inside. So you should know the original image is bigger, so scale factor is less than 1. K will be less than 1. What is the accurate one? Since you have an easy horizontal line, focus on that line and this one. What is the value? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The deleted image is up above, divided by the original image. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the answer. It's 3 by 2. It's 1 point. Now, wait a minute. See, I have done a mistake. Original image is up above. Sorry. See, this is wrong. I'll write the formula. Deleted divided by original. Now, what's the mistake I did? I took the original first. It's in fact 4 divided by 6, which will be 2 by 3. This is the correct answer, 2/3. Okay, and it should be less than 1. Yes, 2/3 means 0.66. You can see the final answer. K value is 2/3. You don't need to do all these steps. You can directly do it in shortcut, looking just at any two lines and doing it. Because over here, this is multiple choice part. You will have the options. You just have to select the correct answer. Here as well, we do the same thing. But now if you look carefully, there is no, horizontal or vertical line. So in such cases, you can take any reference point. I'll take the axis as the reference because see, if I'm going to find these two sides, okay, I can find it. It's not a big deal, but it'll take a long time, finding the sides, then dividing and everything. But what I'll do is I'll take my x-axis as the reference and I can see this is in between, right? How much is this? From here to here, it's 1.5. And what about this original image? This is basically 1. Here we can write the K value, that is deleted divided by the original. You can see the deleted is 1.5 divided by the original is 1. So the K scale factor will be 1.5. You can try this with other points as well. See here, you can choose this 1, 2 from here to here to the y-axis. And what about this point? 1, 2, 3. So what is 3 divided by 2? It's 1.5. This is why we can tell the scale factor is 1.5. So this is how we can easily find it just with any of the reference. You can use any axis as the reference. You do not need to do any of these long methods. Directly we can get the answer 1.5. And that's how you can use the shortcut methods and solve this question number 13. Question 14 is to use the properties of similar polygons and solve them. Here we have been told to first find whether they are similar, and then if so, we need to find the dimensions. Now here there is no dimensions asked. Let's first find whether they are similar. You can see this is a triangle. Both are triangle. There's 90, 90. Over here, look at the angles. They're not matching. Then these cannot be, because if they are similar, doesn't matter the sides. At least the angles must be same, isn't it? No, they're not matching. So we can just look at the angles. Since they're not equal, we can tell they're not similar. That's it, not similar here. Now what about this one over here? See, here they have told this side is equal to this side. And this angle is equal to this angle. We know a side, we know angle. And look at this XZ side. Isn't that same for both? So what do we have over here is SAS similarity. So yes, these both are similar. Now they're asking us for scale factor. Look here, XZ is same for both. So imagine this was say 10 centimeters, then it will be 10 by 10. The scale factor will be 1 because it's literally the same side, right? All the dimensions are equal. They are literally the same size and angles. They're similar and congruent as well. So the scale factor will be 1 because if you see this is the common side for both, so it's 1. So that would be the answer. You don't need to write all this because it's an electronic part question. Just if you understand its scale factor is 1, that's enough. What about this one? Here, this is not a triangle. So first you need to understand only for triangle, there is a third angle theorem. Basically if there are two angles equal, then the third angle must be equal. And if all angles are equal, they are similar. But that is not the case for polygons or quadrilaterals. Here, all the angles are same. Okay, well and good. Let's check for the dimensions. Other sides, not dimensions, sorry, the sides. Other sides proportional. Let me just take this smaller one, 2 by 8. It must be equal to 4 by 10. Is it true? It's 1 by 4 here and here it's 2 by 5, which is not equal, so they are not similar to each other. So we cannot find the scale factor because they're not similar. The scale factor for each side will vary, that's why it's wrong. So that's the answer. It's not similar, these rectangles. Now what about this one here? I can easily see they have told angle, one angle, this is 90, then obviously this must be equal, but here it's vertically opposite angles, right? So vertical angles are always congruent. So they both are similar. Now then, we need to find the scale factor. Here, one thing you can know is if this is the side and this side, they are proportional to each other, okay? And this one, this cutting side, this one is proportional to this one. And the other two sides are also proportional. So what I'll do is I'll take this and this one and this one. You can choose the other one as well. So I'll choose 3 divided by 5. It must be equal to 5 from the smaller triangle first. 5 divided by, this is 25 by 3. And you can also try the other one, 4 divided by 20 by 3. You can put this in calculator. This is already simplified, 3 by 5 itself. Now this one, what happens is, this will go up 5 one time and 5 times, and this goes up, right? It'll be 3 by 5 itself. Now here what happens is, say it'll be 4 by 20 multiplied by this 3 goes up. So 4 one time, 5 times, it'll be basically 3 by 5. Or just put this in calculator, you will get all the 3 scale factors are same. I mean, they must be same. You don't need to do for all. I'm just showing you. If you do it for one, it's enough. 3 by 5 is the scale factor, that's it. Okay. Now here you don't have to prove it. Why? Because it's a MCQ part, right? Multiple choices. You will have choices of scale factor 3 by 5. Just look into the simplest side and choose the correct answer. And what about this one? Let's look. Okay, there are two 90 degrees here and here. Okay, that's fine. Okay, this is equal. Oh, see now here, the 4 angles are same. Obviously, this must be equal to this. They are similar. You don't need to go ahead with any other things. They are similar. Oh, they have already told they are similar. I'm sorry. You don't need to find it. They have told each pair of polygon is similar. So you don't have to find similarity at all. Just we have to find x. So here now, look, this is this and upper side over here and this down one is over here. Why? Because this angle and no side, this one. So this one with this and this one with over here. So what you write is you can write different ways this proportionality, okay, triangle proportionality. Now I will write over here x plus 1, that is wj, and then I'll write below 3x plus 1. That's also fine. It should be equal to, which I've taken this one, right? So I have to take 8 first divided by 20. Or there is other way to write. You take x plus 1 divided by the proportional side in the other triangle is 8. That will be equal to the other one, 3x plus 1 divided by 20. The rule is if I have taken this one first and divided by this, next you have to take this up divided by this. Here also, if you just interchange, then you get this. So all are same. Now you just put this in the calculator, you get the answer. Directly you can put it. I will show you in a minute, but I'll solve it first. I mean, if you want, you can solve it. That's up to you. I'll take this over here and over here. It'll be 20 times x plus 1 equals 8 into 3x plus 1. It's going to be 20x plus 20 and 8 times 3 is 24x plus 8. Now 24 is bigger, so I'll take the 20x to the other side. 24x minus 20x, 8 to the other side. Numbers solved will be 12, and over here will be 4x. So x will be equal to 3 by dividing 4 and 4 here. So that is the answer. Let's check it in the calculator as well. All you got to do over here is write this fraction, alpha x plus 1 divided by 3x plus 1. And then this is all equal to 8 by 20. Shift and solve and then press equal to. Answer is 3. X is 3. That's it. So that's how you can easily solve in calculator as well. And now this one is just the same thing. You can do it by yourselves. I'll just write the similarity and then directly use the calculator. Here now, you can see these two sides are given. Yes, these are proportional. It will be 3x minus 1 divided by 8x minus 1 will be equal to 4 by 12. Now, I will directly use this in the calculator, okay? What I need to do is just use the fraction 3x minus 1 divided by 8x minus 1. That will be equal to 4 by 12, or you can write 1 by 3 as well, but it's easy to write what it is, whatever is given. X is 2, so answer is 2. That's it. You don't need to do the steps because it's in the calculator part. Here as well. Now here it's simple, just like what we did a while ago, but you can see they're not in the same shape. If you tilt this, if you bring this PC down, okay, imagine this is PC, and then we have B and S. This would be wrong. Why? If you tilt this down, C is over here having two sides and this is one side. Is this the same way? No. You need to make sure the two-sided one is at the left. If I write this, I'll rearrange and write it properly now. Look here. Make sure this one, whatever is C is over here, C with two sides. And then P is over here. I hope that's clear. C over here, P over here. And then above P is B here, and this will be S. So C to S, do you have any length? No. The above side, yes, 2. What about the BP? It's x plus 3. Now you can write the proportionality. What is the proportionality? 2 divided by 3. You can write like this, or you can write over here x plus 3. I'll write this triangle first. 2 divided by 3 will be equal to 3 divided by 2x plus 2. That is that's the equation. Now you just put this in the calculator, you will get the answer. 2 divided by x, so it's x plus 3 alpha and this symbol over here plus 3, that is equal to alpha calc 3 divided by 2x plus 2. Shift and solve equals to, it's 5. The answer is 5 here. But there's a very important thing, rearranging and writing it in this order. So sometimes students tend to do, okay, P over here just easily. No, then it will be wrong, You need to realize if there are other sides given, then if you take the wrong sides, it's absolutely wrong. Make sure whatever is congruent is arranged in the same position. This would be the correct answer. And lastly here, now again we need to rearrange it. What do we have to do? I'll rearrange this one to this form. So it'll be something like this here and this one. So A with two sides will come down over here, and which is having one side, whatever is having one side is over here. Then you can see the slanting side over here. What is this? D and then G. That's it. Now we write what is CD or DC? That is 4. AC, that is x plus 5. Now you can write 4 divided by x plus 5 will be equal to 5 by 15. So you just have to put it in the calculator. Here, use the fraction 4 divided by x plus 5. That will be equal to 5 divided by 15. Shift and solve and then equal to, the answer is 7. That's how easily you can solve question number 14. Question 15 is about similar triangles. Here they are asking us to identify whether they are similar triangles and then find a measure. If you focus on finding the measure, that's more than enough, because generally these are, electronic questions. You will have choices and they'll just give you the x values. But now looking at this figure, they have told this angle is equal and this is 90. Obviously then this will be similar because all the three angles must be same. Now then, if this is the side I'm considering, 15 divided by the other side would be 12, or I can write the same triangle. I'm just writing the other side. This will be equal to, I've chosen this triangle, so I choose the other side of that same triangle first, x plus 5 and x plus 1. So let's solve this up. This goes to the other side, be 15 into x plus 1, cross multiply, and that is equal to 12 times x plus 5. Now then it will be 15x plus 15, that is equal to 12x plus 15 times 5 is 60. You can directly put this in the calculator and solve. You don't need to do all this. I've shown in the previous problems. Directly in the calculator you get the answer. Since 15x, I'll leave it over here. I'll bring the smaller x value to the other side, that's 12x, and this goes to the other side, 60 minus 15. Here you will get 3x, that is equal to 45. The answer of x is 15. So that is the answer. Just by the triangle proportionality statements, we will find it out. And now I forgot to see the question. They have not told you to find the x value. They are told to find AC. It's x plus 1. 15 plus 1 is 16. So that is the correct answer. 16. Okay. Now what about JL? Now it's not x, it's JL. So you need to find whatever x is there plus 18. Now first of all, are they similar? Since these are parallel, these are vertical opposite angles, and now you can tell these are alternate angles, alternate opposite angles, interior alternate angles. So yes, they are similar if two angles, and this also is equal to this. Now then we will use the proportionality statement. I will take these two at the ends, 16 divided by 4. Okay, first is the bigger, then divided by 4. I can then make it equal to x plus 18 because I chose 16, then the same triangle side first and divided by x minus 3. I just put in the calculator and I get the answer. All you need to do is 16 divided by 4, that is 4 itself, answer over here. But let's write in fractions as it is. And we have x plus 18 divided by x minus 3. Shift and solve, then press equal to, you get the answer 10. So the answer over here is 10. But now that is x value, then add 18 to it. Again, I forgot JL, add 18, it'll be 28. So that is the answer. JL is 28. Similarly, you can solve this one as well. Here they are similar because these two are parallel, then these are corresponding angles. Same angle, corresponding angles. Now then we will use the statement. This is known. Okay, now here we can use this easily. 6 divided by 12, that's fine. Why? Because it's small triangle, big triangle. But now what I need to do is, small triangle side is how much? X plus 5 divided by, what is the big triangle side? It is x plus 5 plus 9, because the entire side, see, so much is x plus 5. For the small triangle, 6. But this one is the side of the big triangle, so the entire length must be taken, x plus 5 plus 9. Now, you don't need to solve it. Again, I'll show you directly in calculator. All you need to do is type it out. 6 by 12, that's half, will be equal to x plus 5. Okay, now I need to write the fraction first, only then it will be proper. X plus 5 divided by x plus 5 plus 9. Don't think it cancels off. It's not x plus 5, it's x plus 13 here. Shift and solve, and the answer is 4. But what do we need to find? We need to find EH. These two sides are same. Looking at this, you can tell if this is x plus 5, this is also x plus 5. Why? Because I have told this is 9, this is 9, right? So these two are same. The total length will be x plus 5 itself. X plus 5 plus 9, right? So now we have to do 4 plus 5, that is 9. That will be the answer. You can see, because these are equal to each other, we can apply the x value to this x plus 5 and easily find the total. The EH value is supposed to be 9 because EH and EG are equal. Now similarly, you can do this one again over here, corresponding angles and same angle, and you can easily solve it up. I'll write the similarity statement. Please try pausing the video, do it by yourself, and then continue. Here I'll take the big triangle first, 14 divided by small triangle 6. Now here, if I've taken this entire thing, I have to take this entire thing, not just the small one, okay, or this one. I take the entire values. So here is equal to 3x minus 3 plus x plus 2. This is the statement because I have to take the entire length, right? And for the below one, it's just the small triangle. It's x plus 2 because I've chosen 6 down, right? I have to write x plus 2 down. About was 14 total length. This is the thing. You can directly put this in the calculator. Since it's too big, I'll just solve this anyways. Here, before you put it in the calculator, you can easily simplify this a bit. You can directly put it, no problem. But this becomes what exactly? It'll be 4x minus 1 divided by x plus 2. Or you can put the entire thing. Up to you. It'll be 14. Sorry, it's 14 divided by 6 here. That equals, here it's going to be 4x minus 1 because minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1 divided by x plus 2. Shift and solve and then press equal to, it's 3.4. That's the x value, but what is vt? Vt will be plus 2, it will be 5.4. That's the answer. And now we have some real world problems. Olivia draws a regular pentagon. Pentagon means having 5 sides and regular means all the sides are equal. And starts connecting its vertices to make a 5-pointed star. Okay, she wants to do a 5-pointed star. But after just drawing 3 lines in the star, she becomes curious about the 2 triangles that appear in the figure. Can you see this ABC and CEB? These are the 2 ones. You can see over here ABC, this one and this one. They look similar to her. Prove that this is the case. We basically have to prove it's similar. So they have told it's similar itself. We just have to prove it. So how we can prove over here is, since it's a pentagon, we know the total angle of a pentagon is n minus 2 times 360, isn't it? So what are the sides of a pentagon? It's 5 minus 2 times 360. So, sorry, it's not 360, it's 180, my bad. The formula is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. 5 minus 2 is 3, 3 times 180 would be 18, 36, 54, right? It should be 540 degrees. So that will be 3 times 8, 540 degrees, the total angle of pentagon. But now, what are the angles? Because we know it's a regular pentagon, all the sides are equal, the angles or the vertices also are equal. So just divide this by 5, you'll get the answer. 5 will be 100, 45s are 8, 108 is the answer. So what we came to know is each of these vertices are having a degree of 108. Now let's focus on what are the 2 triangles. This one, BEC, and total, another one is ABC. So this one, these 2 triangles. Over here, I know for sure that B and B is equal because it's the same angle. So done. We need to prove any one other one is equal, any one of the angle. Okay. So then we can do one thing. Let's try to break down. We know this is now 108 degrees. Now everywhere, all the vertices are 108 degrees. So let us try to find these angles. What about that? This total angle in a triangle. Now one thing you need to remember, these sides are all same. So this is an equilateral triangle, isn't it? So here if I take x and over here also x, and this is 108 degrees. So 180 degrees will be equal to 108 plus 2x, isn't it? Take this to the other side, 108, it will be 70, 70 plus 2, 72 degrees equals 2x. Divide both the sides by 2, it will be 36 degrees. That is x. Now then, we know this over here is 36, 108, again 36. Now, what about the other sides? Same thing will happen over here, 36, 108, 36. Now, if you know this is 36, 36, what is the remaining one? 72 minus 108 minus 72, because total is 108 minus 36, 72, 72. Oh, it's 36 itself. So 36, 36, all these are 36. Now then, I know A is 36. What about this side? This is also 36 degrees. Now this one is 72 degrees, but we don't, we have this already, 1B is same for both the triangles. And now 36 and 36 is same. So no matter what, this must be equal. I mean, this is similar because of AA similarity. So directly we can prove it. Why? Because This is a common angle for both the triangles, see BEC or ABC. And we came to know this is 36 degrees and this one is also 36 degrees. So the two angles are same. So we can tell A similarity and hence they are similar. You can see over here, they have done the same thing finding 36 and they have found this also as 72 and then they have just told it's similar. Now what about this one over here? Write as many triangle similarity statements as possible for the figure shown. How do you know that these triangles are similar? Now these are very easy. Whenever you have 90 degrees like this blocked up, let's look into the full triangle first, AEG over here, and then let's look at AHB. Okay? If you see, this angle is common for the bigger one and the smaller one, right? It's common over here and the big side. So if this is any angle, it's the same for both. Then what about this 90 degree here, this 90 degree? Two angles are common, so I can easily tell these two are similar. Same way, let me go with other one. This and this and this I can take. I know A and A is common for both of this and the smaller one, and then there's 90-90, so it's similar because of A similarity. What about this one here? Those triangles. Now this is similar over here and having a E common because the whole triangle and this one is having EE same and 90 degree, and over here there's 90 degree. So easily whenever you have 90 degree and then a common side, sorry, common angle, you can easily tell they are all similar because of A similarity. That's the answer. Even over here you can easily tell this one. Now what they want is find JKL, the whole thing, and JMK. See, this much and the whole triangle. Let's look into the whole triangle. This is 90 degrees. What about the smaller one? This is 90 degrees. So one angle is done. A is done. What about the other angle? Now, JKJL is congruent to KJM because these two triangles have a common angle. So there are two angles equal. So then the third angle must be equal. So because of AA similarity, we can easily tell they are similar. So they are similar basically. So that's the thing. We can easily prove them. And that's the end. Just some reasoning is required. But since it's a multiple choice question, you can stick with finding the x value rather than proving. Proving problems are there in the writing part. You can go back to the writing part videos where everything is proven. I would suggest you to stick to finding the x values rather than proving in the electronic part. In this question, we will use proportional parts with parallel lines. Here you can see these two lines are parallel. If they are cutting parallel in a triangle, then this line is proportional to this. We can write the proportionality theorem for this. Let's first know what are given. AB is 6, BC is 4, AE is 9. We need to find ED, which I'll write it as x. So here if I consider AE, that is 9, divided by the other side x, that will be equal to, first I consider only the top triangle, right? So this is AB, that is 6 by only the bottom one, 4. So this is it. You just put in the calculator, you get the answer for ED. It's cross multiply. It'll be 9 times 4. That will be equal to 6 times x. Or you can take the 6 to the other side. It'll be 9 times 4 divided by 6 is equal to x. 1 time, sorry, it's 3 2 times, and it's over here 3 times, 1 time, 2 times, it's 2 times 3, it's 6 is equal to x. That is the answer. So you can just put in the calculator. This is all electronic part, so you easily use your calculator and get the answers. And what about this one here? Same figure, but the values have changed. Now AB is known to be 12 and the AC value, which is the total length, is 16. What about ED? ED is 5 and we need to find AE. We need to find this one. So we know this and this, fine. But what about this one? We know only 5. Let's find BC rather than taking the whole one, because over here we have to take x plus 5. Let us simplify our work. Let's only find what is BC. AB is 12, total is 16. So 16 minus 12 will be BC, that is 4 basically. So it's 16 minus 12, 4 will remain. That's it. So now we can write the proportionality. X by 5 will be equal to 12 by 4. So first x by 5, 12 by 4. You can solve it directly in calculator, but I'll solve it up over here. 12 by 4 times 5 4 1 times, 4 3 times, and 3 times 5 is 15. So x is equal to 15. So that's the dimension of x. Here they have done it differently. They have added this part rather than we can easily find BC and solve it. It's up to you. You can use any method. Now, what about this one? Determine whether NR is parallel to QP or PQ. So now they have given us the values. Let's write the values first. PM, the total length over here is 18. PN, the smaller length is 6. QM, the total over here is 24. And lastly, we have RM to be 16. So they have given us the dimensions. Whether these are parallel, we need to verify. If they are parallel, then the proportionality should work. So we will find the sides. Now, since 16 is given here, what you can do is 18 minus 6, that is 12. I can find this. And if you want to find this distance, RQ, I can just do 24 minus 16, that will be 8. Now, what we need is 12 divided by 6, okay, must be equal to, this is 16 divided by 8. Let's check this. 1 times 2 times 1 times 2 times. Yes, 2 equals 2. The proportionality holds good. The proportionality is true here. So therefore, what we can say is they are parallel. Yes, they are parallel. They have taken the other way around. You can take the smaller value divided by the bigger value. It's the same thing as long as it's equal. Now, this is like a yes or no question. Generally, you will get like the first and the second question where you will have to tell the x value. You have to select the correct x value rather than telling yes, it's parallel or no, it's not. Now, here also it's the same thing. Let's just quickly prove them. I mean, we don't know whether it's true or no. Let's check them. 31 here, RM is 21. So what will be this one? It will be 10. And same thing over here. Now, they have told PM, the total of PM is equal to 4 times PN. So now if PN is X, okay, PM will be 4X. It's 4 times more than that. So that's it. Now here, since I know the total, I can even find this one. How can I find this? 4x minus x will be, this is 3x. That's it. Or I can use the total as well. It's up to you. But since I've written all the sectors, I mean the parts, let's take it part by part. Here, bigger 3x by x will be equal to 21 by 10. Let's see. X cancels. It's 3 over here. But what about this one? 3 is not equal to 2.1. Divided by 10 is 2.1. So this is an error here. So what we can say is no, this is not parallel. If they are parallel, then the proportionality must have been same, isn't it? So no, they are not parallel. And now we are in mid-segment problems. These are one of the easiest problems. All we need to do is find the x value. Now look at this one. This is mid-segment, right? These two are parallel, okay? This and this is parallel and these two are parallel. They have a very easy property. If this is, say, x, then this bigger one will be 2 times x. But now here it's not x, it's 25. So this will be 2 times 25. It's 50. Now what about, okay, that's about sides, very easy one. Now since they are all parallel, we can use the angle properties, parallel angle properties. Now this is 57 degrees here. What is the x value? These both are alternate interior angles. Remember, they're alternate interior angles. I just want to bring about a correction over here. In some of the presentation, the question presentation which I had made before, the x was over here. That is an error. It should be over here. This is the correct, this is the question exactly. Look, we cannot find these angles because we have no idea what is given. Only 57 is given. If other values were given, then yes. But in what we know, we can only find this one. They are alternate interior angles. So in the solution set, you can see they wanted us to find VRW. That is 57 degrees itself. They're same. Now here it's 2 times 25. Now what about this one here? This is 2.7. They want x. That is half of 2.7. It will be 1.35. Just divide this by 2. And again, we have mid-segment. Over here, we need to find the value of x. Now, how can you find this x? Look, this line is parallel to this line. So these are corresponding angles, right? So I know from this angle is same. It's 44 degrees. What is the total angle of a triangle? 180 minus 76 degrees minus 44 will be equal to x. So 76, 80, 120. So it will be minus 120 here. 180. It's 60 degrees basically. That is x value. So that's it. You can just use a calculator and find it out easily. Answer is 60. And then over here we have again a similar problem which we had before. Parallel side lines are given. Let's read over here in maps. In Mika's town, K Street and Bay Street are parallel. So K Street and Bay Street, they are parallel lines. Find the value of x, the distance from K Street to Bay Street along the street, Earl Streets in this one. X is along the Earl Street, that's given over here, x value. Now how you can find is very simple. The parts are already there, right? 1 divided by 0.8 will be equal to 1.4 divided by x. Take x to the other side, it will be 1.4 times 0.8. Just put in the calculator, you get it. So it'll be 8 times 14. I'm just lazy to do it. You can put it in the calculator, it'll be 1.12. So that'll be the answer. Now here you can see they have written proportionality differently, 1 by 1.4 and 0.8 by x. It's same as this one. So I'll just show you. If you do 1.4 times zero point 0.8, it should be equal to 1.12 and the answer will be same. So that's the distance. And that's the end of the question 16. Another easy question. Just look into the figure, understand what is the x value, and accordingly write the proportionality statement and solve it. In the question 17, we will solve right triangles and use the relationship between its altitude and hypotenuse. Here, first we will start with geometric mean. Geometric mean is a very simple formula. It's given as the square root of a and b. So you can consider these two terms as a and b, and x will be that. It's similar to average. Now, what was average? Average is add them all up, a and b, add them up and divided by 2, right? But this is about addition. Now, here we are multiplying and taking the square root. It's similar to a mean, but it's geometrically. So we can use calculator and solve them directly. Let me show in the calculator itself. All you do is square root and multiply them both. 4 times 6. That's the answer. It's 4.89, or you can write it as 2 square root 6. Same thing over here. It's half. That's 0.5 times 2. It'll be 1 square root 1. That's it. Now, always remember the formula is given as x equals square root ab. You just substitute the values 4 times 25 inside the square root. Here it'll be square root 12 times 20. So this is how we find the geometric mean. Now here as well, it'll be 4 times 25. That's the answer here. It's 10, the average between these two geometrically. And same way over here, you can just use the square root symbol. 12 times 20, it's 4 root 15, or it's 15.5 you can consider. It's approximately 15.5. Please do these by yourselves. They're again very easy. Directly in the calculator, you will get these answers. Now, they have not told you to round off to nearest tenth. It depends on the options. Okay, when you get the answer, just see which is the closest answer. If it is 6 root 2, choose that as the answer, or else it's 8.5, choose that as the answer. Now here, this is wrong. Let me just do it. Square root 3 times 24 is 8.48. This is an error over here. They have told some other values. It's for 12 and 20. That is the answer. This is the correct answer over here. 3 and 24 is 8.5. Now they have told us to write a similarity statement identifying the 3 similar right triangles in each figure. So can you see there are 3 right triangles here? See, one is this one, B, D, and C. Okay, so they're not straight lines. Another one is A, B, and D. See this one. Which is the other one? The entire figure itself is one more triangle. There are 3 triangles. So how you can tell they are similar is, first let me write them out. Let me write them as it is. So like this is the original figure, A, B, and C. And this is the right angle triangle. Now, can you see this one over here? There is 90 degrees here because this is also 90. A straight line will be 180. 180 minus 90 is 90. But here, instead of writing, like this, instead of drawing it something like a D, I will write the 90 degrees here down. Okay. And then I will draw it up. I'll draw the 90 degree down. This is D. Then which is the longer side? Which is the longer side? Is it AD or B? It's this one which is longer, right? This is smaller, this is longer. So I'll write this as B and then over here the remaining side is A, and this is 90 degrees. And then which is the one more triangle? This one over here. D is having 90 degrees, so D is over here. But which is the longer side? Is it BD, DB, or DC? It's DC. And then this one is B. So now, are they all similar? Yes, they will be similar. Why? Because we have 90, 90, 90. That's fine. But you can see there's A and A. That is equal. This has B and B. That is also equal. And this has C and C. If you have any two angles equal to each other, then done. They are equal. So this and this are similar. Why? Because they're similar because of AA congruency. Now, if these two are similar, I can stop that. Now I'll just compare these both. I know the C and C is equal to each other, right? So again, these are also similar, these two. Then from transitive property, I can directly tell these both are similar, or I can see over here B and B is the same angle. They are also similar. So it's up to you. You can use different similarity statements and solve them up. They are similar over here, but this is a proving problem, but you will be given more of solving problem because this is electronic part, question 17, part 2 in the multiple choice parts. Now, even over here, you can do the same thing. I'm not going to solve the same thing again. It's just like what we have done, but just make sure you see what is the original figure. That is LMN. Now, write this accordingly, the other shapes. Make sure the P is down and then N is up and L. And this is the last figure over here. P is down. M is the shorter one, which is going up, and the longer side is on the flat surface, on like the base, PN. So now again we can easily, just now we are proven, right? See here, the total triangle and this triangle will have a common side. They all have 90 degrees. Okay, that's fine, but there's one common side. This is equal. Now the smaller triangle and the big one will have a common side, M and M. That's it. That's more than enough. Okay, so that is how we can easily prove it. And what about this one? Again, it's the same thing which we did a while ago. They are also similar. You can easily prove them by angle similarity. And what about this? This is again the same thing. Here you can see the total one is having a 90 degree. Sorry, so that is also having 90 over here. This is also having 90 and this is also having 90. So let me take the original figure, something like this. 90 is up over here. Then what I can do is I can write this one also like this with 90 up over here and 90 up over here. Up to you. Or you can rearrange and write everything whichever side you want. See now, the full triangle and this one is having a common side at T, and the small one and the big one is having a common side of R. Angles are equal here. If two angles are, and everyone have a 90 degree, so they are similar to each other. So again, this is same thing. Now, what about this one here? We need to find the value of x, y, z. We need to remember whenever the altitude, see this is the altitude, right? This is x altitude, 90 degrees. When altitudes are known, we can use geometrical mean formulas to solve these x and y sides. So first of all, altitude is given by the geometrical mean. What do I mean? The base, can you see this bases, right? I'll consider them as A and B. Okay? It's very simple. X will be A times B. That's it. That's the formula. You can just put it as X is equal to 8 times 23. That'll be answer. But now look over here. Y also needs to be found and Z also needs to be found. Z or Z. Now where is Y? Y is at the corner side which is closer to 8, right? You need to choose the side which is, the nearer one, A, and the total one. So here, the formula is basically A multiplied by A plus B. This is very, very important. It's not only B, it's not just 23, it's the entire thing. This is crucial. And for Z value, it's the square root of which two? So now Z is this one. Which is it close to? B and the total value. It will be, but I better change the color over here. So now let me write it over here. See, from here, B and the total value. So it will be B times A plus B. So here, let me substitute. B is 23 times 23 plus 8 would be 31. And that's square root. You get the answer in the calculator directly. And what about this one over here? it would be y will be equal to square root of a is 8 times, add them both up, it will be 31, the same over here. So now we use our calculators and solve them up. Here it's square root. Let's find x first. 8 times 23 is equal to 2 root 46 or 13.56. Let's see how the answers are given. They have given it in terms of values. Let's write in decimal only. It's 13.56. So x is equal to 13 point. They have not told nearest tenth. So I'll just take 2 decimal points. 56. What about the next one? Over here it will be, I'll write 31 first times 8 because then I can just edit this to 8 to 23. And over here we have 2 square root 62 and this is y equals 15.75. And lastly, what do we got? What have we got over here? 31 times 23 here. That is the answer. 26.7. It's 26.70. So it's just 26.7. So these are the answers. See, it's 26.7, 13.6, and 15.75, which I've written. That's fine. No need of writing all that. Directly you can find the values. Let's do another problem. Here now, we don't know the individual values. I'll take this first one as A. How do we find it? Total is 25 minus 6. That'll be 19. A is 19. B is 6 and A plus B is 25. So I'll write the formulas. For X, it will be square root AB. For Y, it will be square root Y, it's B times A plus B. And lastly, for Z, it will be A. From here, it's the longer one, A times A plus B. So what do you multiply with? A is 19 times 6. That's the first one. Over here, you just have to write 6 times A plus B is 25. That is the square root of that. And Z is, A is 19 times 25. Just put them in the calculator. You will get the answers. You can see the answers over here. So it's 6 times 25, 6 times, see, it's 19. Okay, 25 times 19. I would suggest you write the individual sides and then put it in the calculator easily. And there's no need of writing anything because it's electronic part exam. Here as well. Now here you can see they've given this altitude. They want x. This one is given z value. See now what's happening. We can use the altitude value and find these x value, and then we can solve for z and then y. I will show you one by one. I know whatever is this here, that altitude is equal to the geometric mean of 2 and x. So 3 is basically equal to square root of 2 multiplied by x, isn't it? How can I solve it? You can just put this in the calculator, you'll get the answer, but I'll just solve it manually. Square both the sides. It'll be 9 is equal to 2 times x divided over there. It'll be 4.5 is equal to x. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So x value is 4.5 here. So now what is z value? 4.5 plus 2 is 6.5 here. And now once I know all these, can I find y? Yes, y will be this side and the total side, right? Y is equal to square root of 2 multiplied by z is 6.5. You will get the answer. So that's how we solve it. You can see here x is 4.5. Once you find that, add it up with 2, you'll get z of 6.5. Then what you need to do is for y, it is square root of 2 times z value, which is 6.5. Put it in the calculator, you will get 3.6. And lastly here, now again, now the altitude is not given. We have been given the total length. We have been given the side over here. From this side, we can find a lot of things. So what is that? Not a lot of things, only one value, sorry. This 10 will be equal to square root of y multiplied by this total one, 20. Okay, so you square it up, it'll be 100 is equal to y times 20. Take the 20 to the other side, it'll be 5. Divide both the sides by 20, or 10 by 2 is 5 is equal to y. So y is 5. This total is 20. So what is x? It'll be 20 minus 5. That's 15 here. So now can you find the z value? Absolutely. Z is equal to square root of x and total. So x is 15 times 20. That will be the answer. So that's how we solve it up. You can see the y value was 5, which we solved, and then find x after that. Immediately you can easily find x. And then what you do is use the geometric mean formula. 20 times x, which is 15, 20 times 15 will be square root of 300, that's 17.3. And that's how we solve these problems. Again, not a tough question. It's just that you should remember the formula, analyze the questions, especially when the altitudes are given, carefully apply the formulas, and then solve the problems. Question 18 is using the converse of the Pythagorean theorem to determine triangles. Here we have been given coordinates. You can see the xy coordinates are all mentioned. And then we have been told, see, can this be a triangle? From these coordinates, can we make a triangle? And then if so, which type of triangle is it? Is it acute, right, or obtuse angle? So what happens is, now, to be a triangle, there is certain condition. Now imagine it's a right angle or any angle. Okay, this is not required to be a right angle. This is acute angle, acute triangle, sorry. Let me take it as ABC. There is a very important condition, the same thing over here, ABC. It says that any two sides, I'll take AB, when you add them up, it must be greater than the other side. Or let me take AC for example over here, A plus C, it must be greater than B. Or if I take B plus C, it must be greater than A. This is the most important condition for being a triangle. Now then, if you find the side lengths over here, A, B, all these side lengths, then we can easily determine whether it can be a triangle or no. How can you find the side lengths? We know the vertices of the triangle X, Y and Z are known. So let me just draw a rough figure now, and then I will directly tell you how we can solve it. So minus 3 and minus 2 is somewhere over here. Minus 1 and 0 is somewhere over here. And lastly, we have 0 and minus 1 over here. So this is the thing. It looks something like this. Okay, we are still not sure. We have to find the distances though. We don't know whether it can be really be drawn as a triangle. Yes, it seems like yes, it can be drawn because approximately yes, that's true. But anyways, so now from these coordinates, minus 3, minus 2, minus, sorry, it's 0 and minus 1 here, and we have minus 1 and 0. So we have x, y, and z. How do we find the distances? Distance over here for this side can be easily found by the distance formula, x2 minus x1 the whole squared plus y2 minus y1 the whole squared. So we just use this formula and find the distance. Not only of one side, all the three sides. So what we do is, you can just do like this. For xy now, that will be equal to, here just put in the I mean, you can use the calculator directly, but it's better to write it once at least. I mean, for your own sake. I know this is electronic part, no need of writing, but you know the formula must be known. Substitution is required, isn't it? So x2 will be minus 1 minus of minus 3. See, minus 1 subtracted from negative 3, it will be plus 3 over here. I'll write it directly. Plus 0 minus of minus 2. See, over here I had written directly. Why? Because this minus and minus becomes plus. Even over here I can write it, but if you're thinking how it became plus here, it's because minus and minus becomes plus. Then you put in the calculator, you get the answer. Let's go with y and z. So here, square root of 0 minus of minus 1 is plus 1 the whole squared plus minus 1 plus 0 the whole squared. That is the distance for yz. And lastly, we will take x and z, or z and x, or x and z. It's up to you. So over here, I'll take 0 minus and minus becomes plus 3 the whole squared plus minus 1 plus 2 the whole squared. So all I do is I put all these three in the calculator now, and we'll find it. I will write square root. You can directly write minus 1 plus 3 as 2 over here, 2 squared. It's up to you, or you can write in the bracket minus 1 plus 3 the whole squared plus it's 0 minus and minus becomes plus. So I'll not write 0 because it's 0 itself. It's plus 2. So it's 2 squared. What's the answer? It's 2 square root 2. So here, if you press ST, you'll get 2.83. I'll take it as 2.83. That's the first side. What about the second side? You know, your square root. 1 squared plus sorry, it's 1 squared plus, here it's minus 1, the whole square will be again, negative dissolves, right? It's 1 squared, it's square root 2, that is 1.41. So here, I'll write it over here, 1.41, that's the answer. And lastly, we have the last third line, that is square root 3 squared. Now here, you can write it as 1, or I'll just write it as it is, that's plus 2 the whole squared, and here we go, that is 3.16. Sorry for that, it's 3.16 here. Now what can you see? We found all the sides. Now we need to add them up and check whether it's true or false. When I add any two sides, it must be bigger than the other side. This one, again, we need a calculator to do it directly. Here, let me do the checking. That is 2.83 plus 1.41. Is it bigger than 3.16? Yes. So these two are true. Now let's try the other two. So I'll just change this one, 1.41, let it be as it is. I'll just change this 1.41 plus 3.16. I need to press plus here, add them both, and the answer is yes, it's bigger than 2.83. Now I will leave this 1.41, I'll add these both. I don't even need to add them both. You can easily see that is bigger than 1.41. So all the three tests are valid. When you add the two sides, it must be bigger over here. These two must be bigger than this, and last two must be bigger than this. Of course, they are all true. So yes, this is a triangle. Now this is done. We can tell yes, this is a triangle. Well, but they're not asking for us to just tell whether it's a triangle or no. They want us to know whether it's an acute right or obtuse angle. How do you do that? So we have to use Pythagoras theorem. C squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, right? C is the hypotenuse, the biggest side. Which is the biggest side here? It's 3.16 squared. That must be equal to over here 2.83 squared plus 1.41 squared. But we don't know exactly whether that's equal. So we can write a question mark. Let's see what happens in both the sides. Are they equal or no? Here we need to do both the sides. It's 3.16 squared. That is equal to 9.99 I can take because it's almost 10, okay? I'll take it as 9.99 over here. Is this equal to the right side? Let's check it out over here. It's 2.83 squared plus 1.41 squared. Now again it's 9, it's almost 10 because you know approximately if you take it 10, but we are getting the same value. I'll take it as 9.9 and it's so close, you know, don't take it as 10 and don't tell it's unequal. This is almost equal. So we can see the c squared equals a squared plus b squared is true. This is only true when it is Pythagoras theorem is true. That means it's a right angle triangle. It's only when there is a right angle. So over here we can tell it's a right triangle, a triangle with a 90 degrees. So this is what it means. Now what are the other situations? If at all, imagine this Pythagoras theorem, c squared was greater than the other two sides, the sum of other two sides, then this would have been obtuse. And if it was smaller, c squared was smaller than a squared plus b squared, then it will be acute. Now, how would you understand that? Let me draw, I hope this much is clear. I'll clear this all off. Now, let me draw a triangle over here. So here, this angle is definitely more than 90 degrees. Now, say this angle is 120 degrees. And now similar sides and everything, but the angle will be, say, 90 degrees here. And one more will be less than that, okay? Let it be 60 degrees. So what happens is, as the angle is more, this side increases. The length of the hypotenuse, supposed to be hypotenuse, increases. This side. Now, if this is, say, 60 degrees, imagine this is 3. Then over here at 90, it might be 5. And over here, it might be 7. So this is the relationship. So that's why when the hypotenuse is greater than the sum of the other two sides, we tell it's obtuse. Why? Because obtuse is greater than 90 degrees. Whereas if it's equal exactly, then it's a right angle because that is a right angle. right triangle. And then lastly, when it's less than the sum of the other two sides, we call it an acute angle, because over here the side is smaller and the angle is less than 90 degree. So here the angle is less than 90 degrees, here it's equal to 90 degree, and over here it is greater than 90 degree. These are the three situations. So now over here in this particular problem, we got it equal. Say over here, that was equal, isn't it? And therefore we can tell it's a right triangle. Whereas you can do these problems by yourselves. First, you need to find the distance over here. You can directly put it in the calculator and find the decimal values, and then you can use them to find what is it a triangle or no. Once it's proven it's a triangle, then you can use Pythagoras theorem and solve it. Pythagoras theorem to check whether it's acute, right, or obtuse. Similarly, please do all these problems over here. All the methods are there. They're all the same methods. There's nothing different in these. So over here you can see the c square was greater, that is greater than the other two, sum of the other two sides. So it's obtuse over here. And similarly, here we can see this is right triangle. They're Pythagorean triplets. That's why. Now we have a real world problem. Here, the figure is given to support a flagpole 50 feet long tether is tied to a pole at a point 40 feet above the ground. So this height is given 40. This to catch this out, there's a tether that's 50 feet long. That's the hypotenuse, right? This is hypotenuse. Now this is one side A I can take, hypotenuse as C, and the other side is B. I need to just find how far is this base over here, this distance. So what we do is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So over here we have c squared equals, sorry, we have c squared value directly. So we have to write 50 squared equals a squared is 40 squared plus b squared. All you do is use Pythagoras theorem. We can use the calculator directly. It's electronic part exam, isn't it? Here, just find the correct answer. You don't need to show any methods. Now, I'm sorry, no square root. It's just square equals 40 squared plus x squared. That is alpha and x squared. Shift and solve, and then press equal to. Your answer is 30. So that will be the final answer. So the anchor is 30 feet away from the base of the pole. That's the distance. Now, again, it's the same thing what we had done a while ago in the question 18 and before. Here they have given the sides of the triangle. So they have given us this side. We have to find whether it's acute, obtuse, or right. So you do not need to use the distance formula. It's easier. You just have to convert these to decimal values and check whether it's a triangle. Then you can proceed. If it's not a triangle, that's it. You just tell it's not a triangle. But if it's a triangle, then you need to check whether it's obtuse, acute, or right triangle from the converse of Pythagoras. So we use that, identity over here, a Pythagorean, and then we check whether it is yes or no. Over here it is acute because the hypotenuse is less than the sum of the other two sides. Therefore it's acute. Similarly over here also you can solve them up. Over here it's a right triangle because they both are equal when you solve it up. Almost all the problems given to you are triangles, but you have to, since it's not writing, you don't need to do this. You can jump over here. But what if, that's not a triangle? So if that's one of the options, then you need to do it. Otherwise, directly jump to check for the Pythagoras theorem. So what I mean is, if at all the options are, there is no option of not a triangle, then either it's acute, obtuse, or right. But there will be four options, so they might give you no triangle as well. It's better to check. But if you know for sure this is a triangle, then all you need to do is see the biggest side, 41 square. What happens when it's added with the other two sides? So you just put this, equation, solve both the sides in the calculator and check. Over here, both are equal. So yes, that is a right triangle. Now we have to prove this. Now, since this is in the electronic part, I will just run through the proof. I don't think these questions will be asked in the electronic part. The previous questions are more likely to come in the exam. Now here they have told this DEF is a triangle and f squared, can you see this side? F squared is less than the sum of the other two sides. That means when you add these two sides, it's bigger. So this is a triangle. And F is the longest side. That's basically the, not the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse only is there for a 90-degree right triangle. The longest side is not hypotenuse, but we can just, understand that's the main thing. In Pythagoras, instead of hypotenuse, we put this. In triangle LMN, can you see over here, LMN? M is right angle. And you can see the sides are same, DE, DE. We need to prove DEF is an acute triangle. Okay, let's see. You can see over here, since this whole side square is less than these two, it is an acute, but we need to prove it now with statements. Now here, look at this side. What is x squared? We have Pythagoras theorem, and we can write here x squared will be equal to d square plus e square, right? And then it is also given that d square plus e square is greater than f square. So which is greater? Now over here, let f square be as it is, but instead of a square plus e square, or d square plus, sorry, this is d square plus e square, these both are equal. So I can write f square is less than x square. Is that okay? Why? Because we know d square plus e square is x square and f square is less than that. So I've just written that statement. Now once you know this, take the square root on both the sides. What we will get is basically we get f is less than x. Now then, once we know this much, what can we deduce? If f, this distance f is less than x, so x distance is giving you 90 degree. So this distance is not same. Now imagine this is 5, this is less than that, 4. So this angle also reduces. If this is 90, it must be less than 90, right? So it must be less than 90 degrees no matter what. Because as the angle increases, the length increases. As this reduces, the length also reduces. So we know this is small. So it must be less than 90. So we can deduce that angle F is less than 90 degrees because angle and the length are proportional. So if this length is less, the angle also must be less. So therefore this is lesser than x, which x is 90 degrees. So being less than x, it should be less than 90 degree. Now look at this. The longest side angle, opposite to it is the angle, right? Is less than 90 degree. If this is the longest side and it is less than 90 degree, can the other two sides be having more than 90 degree? It's just not possible because this side is the longest which we have. Imagine this is 4. These are the other smaller side because I've clearly told this is the longest side. This can be only 3 or 2. So then this angles must be less than 90 itself, right? So we can tell this is acute. So that is the understanding. Over here they have given in detail with the reasoning. If you, as long as you understood the concept, that's more than enough. Now here they have told greater than, it's the same thing, obtuse angle triangle, right? It's the same thing. It's just that we are considering greater than. Whatever I just now told you for the same, but here it's only greater than. So what happens is we'll directly get this angle no matter what, it's greater than 90 degree. So if one angle is greater than 90 degree, other two cannot be greater than 90 and it will be obtuse angle. So we can easily prove that up. And the last problem in this question 18. Construction workers are building a marble sidewalk around a park that is shaped like a right triangle. Okay, they have told it's a right triangle, something like this. Each marble slab adds 2 feet of length of the sidewalk. The workers find exactly 1071 and 1840 slabs are required to make the sidewalks along the short sides of the park. Now they have told this dimensions, right? Right, 1071, 1840, or for the shorter sides. If this is 90, this is the hypotenuse. So we need to find how many slabs. Okay, the other side, long side. Basically, it's Pythagoras theorem. Hypotenuse squared will be equal to the sum of the other two sides squared. 1840 squared. You just put it in the calculator, you will get the answer. So we have to just put 1071 squared plus 1840 squared. And you can see that will be, okay, now the square root of this, I forgot to take the square root. Okay, it's 2129, that will be the answer. You can see that's the final answer. So that is the end of question 18. A bit lengthy, but just remember the Pythagoras theorem and the converse of it, how we can find which triangle it is. And remember, whenever it's less than 90 degrees, it's acute. 90 degrees right triangle, and more than 90 degree will be obtuse triangle. We are nearly there. It is question 19. We are use special triangles. Now, what is this 45, 45, 90? This is a special triangle where it's a right angle triangle, and then you have other two angles as 45 degrees, and then 90 degrees. Here you can find the sides without any help of trigonometry, and easily you can use some rules to find the sides. Let me tell you. For 45, 45, 90, the hypotenuse is always equal to square root 2 times the length of any of the side. This is the hypotenuse, right? The other two sides must be equal because it's like an isosceles triangle. Because these two angles are equal, these bases or the legs of the triangle must be equal. Now, if you know any one length, say this is 3, then the hypotenuse is square root 2 times L. That's it. Whereas there's one more special type of triangle where this can be something like this. It is, okay, now this one can be taken as 30, 60 degrees up above, and 90. This is also a special thing. Why? Because it is in the ratio of 1:2:3, right? Now here, the hypotenuse is given as twice the smallest side. Now, which is hypotenuse? This one. Over here, this is hypotenuse. These two are legs. But here, hypotenuse, but these two are not same because the angles are different. The lengths also vary. So imagine this is the angle we are considering. The opposite side will be formed because of this angle. So now this is the smallest angle, so this will be the smallest side S. Now this 60 degrees is the leg, one of the legs, shorter length and the longer length. I'll take it as L, and the hypotenuse. So here hypotenuse is twice the shortest side. And what about this one? The leg is equal to the square root 3 times the shortest side. These are the formulas you must remember. These two are for 30, 60, 90 degrees triangles, whereas this one is for 45, 45, 90. We just put a dash in between. So that is these are the two formulas. Now with these formulas, you can solve all the problems in this particular topic. But the first one has various ways to solve. So here they have given you find the coordinate x, which is all in the first quadrant. Y and z value is given. So if you don't like any of the formulas, only for this particular problem, let's start plotting it out. Y is -1. Okay, there's -1 and 2 somewhere over here. That's the first point, y. Then z is 6 somewhere over here, and 2. They are at the same thing. Okay, that is z. And we need to find the coordinate of x in the quadrant 1. It must be over here with the 45, 45, 90 degrees. So let's just draw this line here. So if it has to be 45, 45, 90. Now, this is, imagine this is one leg. So what can I do? Now, did they tell anything about the biggest length or anything? No, they have not told anything about that. So what you can do is the same distance. What is that distance from here to here? It's -1 to 6, right? I can take the same distance up over here, or I have to take up over here. Why? Because I can't take down. It will be in the second quadrant. They have clearly mentioned it must be in the first quadrant. So here there must be a point. How much? Can you see this? This distance is total 7. So I have to add over here as well. This must be 7. This and this must be 7. So we know this point over here is how much? At 2, right? 2 plus 7 will be 9. So this is at 9. The y coordinate is at 9. What is the x coordinate? It is 6 because it has to be in the first quadrant. So it's 6, 9. And that would be the 45, 45, 90. Now it's not accurate because it's not to the scale. But you can easily tell, since it had to be in the first quadrant, it has to be above. From z, it must go up. So x value is 6. And add the same distance, 7 to that, that will be 9. So 6 and 9. You can see the answer is 6 and 9. You don't need to do anything else. I'll just repeat this again. You only have this one, the one side. So let me just take all that off. Okay. You only know this much from the given coordinates, right? This is -1, 2, and this is 6, 2. Now they have told the point x must be in the quadrant 1. So it must be over here. It can't go down because we know one leg length is how much? 7. So it must be 7. It has to go up. So this must be 7 itself. So from the z point, we know the value of the x coordinate is 6. But what is the y value? It has to be 2 plus 7 because it's going up. This is 2. 7 must be added. It will be 9. 9 over here because that 2 plus 7 is 9. So it's 6 comma 9. Then we can just join them and that will be the 45, 45, 90. So basically in 45, 45, 90, this base and one more base must be equal. Now in my drawing it's not accurate, but it must be equal. So if this is 7, this is also 7. That's why we get 6, 9. Now what about this one? Here also you can do the same thing. They have told the quadrant 3 this time. We have to focus on the quadrant 3. But only for the point E, but we can plot the other points. What is F? Minus 3, 1, 2, 3, and minus 4 somewhere over here. G is minus 3 and 2. Okay, this is minus 4. So let me take it over here, 2. Now we need one more point, E, which is somewhere in the quadrant 3. But they have also mentioned the longer length L is FG. So let's just count it. We don't need to find the distance between it by distance formula or anything. We know this point. I'll consider this one was FG. Yeah, this was F. Minus 3 comma minus 4. And this is G at minus 3 comma 2. And what's the distance from minus 4 to over here? This is 4 plus 2. It's 6. The distance is given as 6, isn't it? So L is 6. Now from this we know the formula for S, or we can find the hypotenuse as well. But first, if we recall, L is equal to square root 3S for 30, 60, 90. So now what I can do is 6 divided by square root 3 will be S. Now you can just put this in the calculator and you can find the answer. So here we have 6 square root 3. That's it. That'll be S. That is 2 root 3, or I'll take it as 3.46, just for understanding. I'll take it as 3.546. S is 3.5 approximately, okay? So now we got this S as 3.5. Now they have clearly mentioned E must be in the quadrant 3. So we can't take from year to year. It must be here, guys. So F is there. If you consider this length of 3.5, so that is minus 3, right? If you go backside, because it must be in quadrant 3, we can't go here, it will be in the positive quadrant, the fourth quadrant. So let's go back. Minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 6.5 here, the x value, that would be E. And then what is the y value? It will be minus 4 itself. So that's it, that will be the point. And then that's the hypotenuse. This is the shorter length. Now look over here, my scales are not appropriate. So this is around 3.5, 3.46 accurately. And I don't need to find the hypotenuse length. All I need is just this S value. And then we are done. So from length, we can easily find the S, the shorter side, which is 3.5. And now we can just trace back from this X value to minus 6.5. That will be the approximate answer. So you can see here, now minus 3 minus, this is about 3.5, will give you minus 6.5. That's and comma minus 4. That is how we do it. You don't need to do all this. It's electronic part. No need of writing anything. Directly jump to the coordinates. Now we have problems. Now these are pretty simple if the figure and everything is given over here. They have told over here Melody is in charge of building a ramp for a loading dock. According to the plan, the ramp makes 30 degrees angle. This is given as 30. You can see this is 90, so this will be 60 degrees. We have a special triangle here, special right triangle. And then the plan also states that ST, can you see this ST base is 4 feet longer than RS. Okay, 4 feet longer than RS. Now let me take this RS as X. So ST is X plus 4. Whatever is this, sorry, RS is not hypotenuse. It can't be longer than hypotenuse. My bad. RS is this X, okay? So this will be X plus 4 no matter what. We need to find the lengths. Now here, what is the relationship? We have this RS to be the shorter side and this one is the longer side. This is 30, 60, 90. We know from the special triangle, L will be equal to square root 3S. Now just substitute L and S. So L will be X plus 4, that is equal to square root 3X. Now, how could we solve this? All you need to do is the square root 3, if you put in the calculator, you will get a value. It'll be more than 1 anyways. So what I'll do is I'll take this x to the other side. It'll be 4 is equal to square root 3x minus x. And now here, let's use calculator. So square root 3 minus, what is this? Nothing, means it's 1, right? So square root 3 minus 1 will be 0.73. So this answer over here will be 4 is equal to 0.73, nearest 1000. So 732x. Now take this to the other side. That will be division. So it'll be 4 divided by this answer, that is 5.464. So that is the dimension of x. X will be equal to 5.464. How? Divide both the sides by this value. So this cancels over here, and over here we get 5.43464. It's not over. Let's see, what do we have to find? Find the three sides. Okay, I have just found the x value, that is the shortest side. RS is found, that is 5.464. Now what about the other sides? I can easily find TS. How? Or ST, because that is just x, whatever this is there, add 4 to it. It will be 9.464. And what about RT? The hypotenuse over here is always given as 2 times S, isn't it? So this is S. I just have to multiply it by 2. So whatever the answer, just multiply it by 2. Here you go. The answer is 10.928. So these are the three sides. So you can see here, it's 10.928, 9.464, and 5.464. I hope this is clear. You have to use the rule, this one. Length is equal to square root s. That's firstly used. Then we find the x value. Because x is the RS distance, right? Then from that shorter distance, we can find the hypotenuse. That's how we do it. You can see the detailed steps as well. And what do we have over here? We have an interesting problem. Let's do this one. Lai Ling is making a quilt. She starts with two small squares of material and cuts them along the diagonal. Okay, you can see here, these are the two small squares, right? She has cut them like this on the diagonals. So she got two triangles over here. Then she arranges the four resulting triangles to make a larger square quilt. You can see this is a bigger square now. She wants the large quilt to have a block of area of 36 square inches. This is a square and the area is given as 36 square inches. Okay, inches square. What is the side? Just take the square root of this. It will be 6. Okay, the side will be 6. So this is 6, 6, 6, and 6. So what side lengths should Lai Ling use for the two small? Okay, we need to find these sides now. Now remember guys, this 6 is not the side, okay? That doesn't make sense because this will be the same area. It's not. So here if you have 6, what is that 6? This diagonal, because see the diagonal is cut. This will be over there. Then these are the inner sides, isn't it? So the diagonal is basically 6 and 6. How do we find these? Now since it's a square, this is 45 degrees, 45 degrees and 90 degrees. It is as a 45, 45, 90. And over here we have only a single formula for 45, 45, 90. That's hypotenuse is given as square root times 2 times L. And we know the hypotenuse is 6, right? So how do we find the length? Just divide this. 6 divided by square root 2 is L. You can put that in the calculator and find the exact value. Here we have 6 divided by square root. So let me just write 6 divided by square root 2. And the answer is 3 root 2 of 4.24. So 3 root 2 is taken. The lengths of the smaller squares must be, oh yeah, even it's written as 4.2 or 3 root 2 inches. And they have asked us a part B over here. Explain any assumptions that you make to answer part A. Now what assumptions? When we cut, there is no wastage, or it must be accurately cut, I believe. Let's just look over here. The assumption is that cuts are made with accuracy. Also, the sieving seams small rectangle does not. Okay, it's basically you're not using any extra material. It's exactly or very accurately we're using only these dimensions. That's what. But usually when you cut, there is some wastage and you won't get accuracy, And when you sieve them together, like when you stitch them up, there'll be wastage of area as well. Now the problem, we have to find the perimeter of this quadrilateral and round to the nearest tenth. Now you might be thinking why there is a quadrilateral. It's about triangles, but you can see there are two triangles as well. This length is given. Perimeter is just all the sides. Add up all the sides. AD plus AB plus BC plus CD. That will be the perimeter. AD is given as 27. Now, what about the other sides? We know this is equal. So let's only focus on one of the triangle. This angle is given as 135. How much is this? 90. So the remaining part is 45. If this is 45, this is 90, this has to be 45 degrees. Now, whatever is this dimension will be equal. Sorry, this is the hypotenuse. Whatever this and this are equal. If you have 7 here, this is 7. They are equal, isn't it? So we know this is 7, this is 7. So what is remaining in between? For BC, it will be 27 minus 7 and 7. That's 14. That will be, it'll be 14. Sorry, 7, it'll be 13 over here. Okay, this is 13. So 27 minus 14. So plus, AB is unknown. I'll find it in a while, but I know BC is 13 here. But what is AB now? What is the rule for 45, 45, 90? It's hypotenuse is given as square root 2 times L. What is L? L is 7. So square root 2 times 7. That's the answer. And over here also, plus square root 2 times 7. That will be the perimeter. You can just put in the calculator now. So all you need to do is 27 plus square root 2 times 7. You can multiply this by 2 because it's repeated, or I'll just write it out directly. And over here again we have to repeat it. Go next and now multiply it by 7. The answer is 59.8, nearest tenth, right? 59.8 is the answer. So that will be the answer. That's how we can easily solve this one. Now, why are some right triangles considered special? Because you can easily find the sides without complex calculation. Let's just check the answer over here. Once you identify the right angle is special, either it's 30, 60 or 45 degrees, you can solve them without using a calculator. See, if you want the exact value, you need a calculator, but still you can write it as root 3 times 5 or something like that, right? So without calculator, you can just use the formulas and write it out. Now here they have given a figure. Carmen and Audrey wants to find the value x in the triangle shown. Okay, who is correct? Explain your reasoning. Let's try this out. Here, first of all, let us just solve it without looking at these. What do we know? This is an equilateral triangle. All angles are equal, so it's 60, 60, 60. But then what do we have is, we have 90 here. This is 60 because if all the angles are equal, it has to be 60, 60, 60. Only then it's 180 degrees. Half of 60 is 30. So it's 30, 60, 90. Now then, what formulas work over here? I'll write both the formulas. One is the hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the shorter distance. And one more is L is equal to square root 3 times S. Now this is hypotenuse. This one is the longer distance, which is x, and this is the shortest. Why? Because opposite to the 30 degree is the shortest distance. Now, what can we find out? We know h and we know x is L. So do we have anything? No, we don't have anything for that. But we know h value, so we can find s value. What am I thinking? I was thinking over here. Easily we can find s value. So h is equal to 2 times s. H is 6 is equal to 2s. So 3, divide both the sides by 2. You get 3 as s. Now we need to find x, isn't it? What is x value? X is basically L. So x will be equal to square root 3 times, what is this? 3. So it will be 3 square root 3. Who has done it correctly? Carmen has done it correctly. This is wrong. So that's how we can tell. Carmen is right. When we just solved it up, we got the answer. I think so over here, what the mistake she has done is she has used square root 2, that is in the 45, 45, 90 degrees. Not, see, this is the accurate formula. Now 6 by 2 is basically 3. We have found the short distance, right? See, we directly found it 3. They have written it as 6 by 2. It's up to you. You can write it as 3 square root 3 directly, and this is the correct one. The ratio of the measure of angles of a triangle is 1:2:3. When they tell you 1:2:3, what is the answer? Which type of triangle it is? 30, 60, 90. Okay, the length of the shortest side is 8. Okay, S is given as 8. What is the perimeter of the triangle? Okay, they want us to know the perimeter. I imagine this is 60, this is 90, this is 30. So S, that is equal to 8, is given. We don't know any other distances, sides I mean. We need to find all the sides to the nearest tenth, and then we need to add them all up to find the perimeter. So the formulas are H is 2 times S. So H is 2 times 8, that is equal to 16. So the hypotenuse is 16 here. What about L? L is equal to square root 3 times S. So L is 8 square root 3. 8 square root 3, right? Now we will just use a calculator and add them all up. So here we have 8 plus 16 plus 8 square root 3, and the answer is 37.8, 37.9, because nearest tenth would be 37.9. Okay, this is 37.9. That's the correct answer. 16 and then 8 square root 3. You don't need to find it over here. You can directly put everything in calculator and get the answer. The last one over here, we need to draw a rectangle. Let's draw a rectangle first. That has diagonal. Okay, imagine this diagonal is twice as long as its width. This will be the length. The diagonal, I'll take this as hypotenuse. H is 2 times width. Okay. Then write an equation to find the length of the rectangle. So now this is, basically 45, this is 90 degree. It is, they have told it's 2 times width. We can directly tell this is 30, 60, 90, and the length is equal to square root 3 times W. We know the formula, right? From 30, 60, 90, that's the answer. Okay, they are expecting us to do in Pythagoras theorem. Let's just do it. They're basically asking us to prove the formula. That's the thing, okay? You can see over here, they're asking us basically, what is this? Like, prove it, not use the formula directly. So L is unknown, okay? So I need to find this one. So I'll consider this as X. What does the Pythagoras theorem say? It's 2 over here. 2w the whole square will be equal to sum of the other two squares, w squared plus x squared, which is unknown. So let's solve it up. 2 squared is 4, w squared is equal to w squared plus x squared. I'll take this w squared to the other side. It will be 4w squared minus w squared equals x squared. It is 3 w squared equals x squared. Take square root on both the sides. This is going to be square root 3, and w square and square root cancels. The square this cancels with this, and so you allow only w and x. So the dimension over here we can find as square root 3w. Okay, so we can directly tell this from the the rule of 30, 60, 90. This is the other length, but from the derivation also we can get the same length. But since the electronic part, you can just tell the answer, choose the correct answer directly if you know the formula. So that's how we solve this problem, and that's the end of this topic. A bit lengthy. Just remember the formulas for the two special type of triangles, and then you can solve them up easily. The final problem in the multiple choice part is about trigonometric ratios. Here we have to find the trigonometric ratios, that is, see the sine, cosine, tan for different angles. So this is M, and over here L for both of them. Now what happens is, imagine we are considering L, then this is theta, right? That is the angle we are considering. And how do we remember the formulas? We can just remember so, ka, toa. And this is sine theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse, whereas cosine theta is adjacent by hypotenuse. And lastly, we have tan theta, that is equal to opposite by adjacent. Now, if you remember so much, you can easily apply the formulas. Now, here you, instead of writing theta, you can write it as L, angle L as well. It's up to you. The opposite side over here is this one, L, and the hypotenuse doesn't change. It's always opposite to 90 degrees. And the other side, remaining one, is adjacent. So these are the three sides. Do we know the distance of all? Look over here. All the dimensions are given. L is, I'll write in terms of L and then I will write it out. Sine theta, sine L, so I'll write it as L itself, will be equal to opposite by hypotenuse. Cosine L will be equal to opposite, adjacent, that is M, by N. And lastly, tan L will be equal to opposite, that is L by M. Now you just substitute the values here. What is L? It is 15 by N is 39. Here we have 36 by 39. And lastly, we have 15 by 36. This is it. But whereas now we will consider the M angle. So here the hypotenuse does not change, but this is the angle in consideration M. The opposite will be M and the adjacent is L in this case. So if it is sine M, that is going to be opposite is M by N. Whereas cosine M will be this one, L by N. And lastly, tan M would be M by N. L, sorry. Yeah, even I got confused over there. So all you do is substitute the values. M is 36 by 39. Then we have 15 by 39. And then lastly, we have 36 by 39. So 36 by 15. L is 15. So this is these are the answers. That's how we easily solve it. If you remember the trigonometric ratios formulas, then it's nothing. Just choose which angle you need to solve and see the opposite, adjacent, and the hypotenuse and easily solve it up. So these are the answers. Okay, now here they have written in decimal. That's simple. All you do is put this in the calculator, 15 by 39, and press SD. You will get the answers. Generally in your exam you might get in fractions itself, not 15 by 39. It'll be simplified. Let me show you in the calculator. All you do is write this out, 15 divided by 39. So it's 5 by 13. Generally you might have this as your answer. Sine L is equal to 5 by 13, or it is equal to 0.38. Same way you can do the others. So we just change this to 36 and you will get 12 by 13 or 0.92. Please try these by yourselves. They are nothing much. Just using the trigonometric ratios and you will get the answers. Same over here. Over here as well. There's no much difference in this. It's just that which angle you're considering. When you're considering, say, angle R, opposite is over here. And this is your this is hypotenuse. And the other one is adjacent. Whereas I'll just change the color over here. For S, then this becomes opposite when it's S, and this is the adjacent. The adjacent and opposite swap to each other. Similarly, this is also the same thing. You can see all the answers over here. Please do them by yourselves and then check the answers. Now, since this is an electronic part, I'm not gonna do all the big methods and everything, writing opposite sign. You can write this. It's very, very simple. They have told over here this is special right triangle, and you can write the formula and try solving it, but I'll show you in the calculator how easily you can get the answer. All you need to do is sine 30, and that's the answer, 1 by 2 or 0.5. Now tan 45 over here, tan 45 degrees will give you 1. So that's the answer. Now sometimes if your mode is in radian, shift, mode and 4, never do that. But if you do that, the answer will be wrong. So what happens is if this is an R over here in the calculator, that means it's in radian mode. So then this doesn't work. See, sine 30 degrees will give you wrong answer. So when this R is visible, just press shift 9 3 equal AC to clear your calculator, or you can go to shift mode, and this default mode is in degree, that is 3. So whenever you have been given in degrees, say these cos 60, now you'll get the correct answer, that is half or 0.5, and sine 60 over here is given as root 3 by 2, and that's 0.887. So that's the answers. You can write it in fraction itself. Same way over here, please use your calculator and try them by yourselves, and similarly do the others. This is root 2 by 2 or 1 by 2 root. See now, if you do it in your calculator here, cosine 45, you will get root 2 by 2. That is same as 1 by root 2. Why? Because I'll show you, it's 0.707, right? Now even 1 by root 2 is the same thing, 0.707. So if at all your option is not, they just solve the options and see what is the decimal value, and whichever matches is your correct answer. Now we have a problem here to find the x. Now what formula can you use here? What do we know? Hypotenuse, no, unknown. This is the theta. So opposite is what we need to solve, and adjacent is there. So tan theta gives you opposite by adjacent, isn't it? So now tan 64 degrees will be equal to opposite is x by adjacent is 11. Just put this directly in the calculator, you will get the answer, or you can solve it by taking 11 to the other side. Let me do both the ways. So here I'm going to write tan 64, close the bracket, equals x divided by 11, shift and solve, and then press equal to. Your answer is 22.5. Also, you can take this 11 to the other side, and it'll just be 11 multiplied by tan 64, and the answer is 22.55. And here again we have one more problem. Same, the figure is given, theta, opposite is unknown, hypotenuse is known, and adjacent side is known. Adjacent hypotenuse is given by cosine theta, that is adjacent by hypotenuse. So all you need to do over here is cosine 29 degrees will be equal to adjacent is x by hypotenuse 29. So what I'll do is, you can take this 29 to the other side and multiply it with cosine 29 degrees, and the answer is 25.36. Or you can put this equation as it is in the calculator with variable x. If you only put x, you have to put equal to, but if you take this to the other side, you just solve the left side. That is the answer to x, right? So the answer is 25.36. Here as well, we have been given, which is this side, this is the hypotenuse, because you can see this is like 90 degrees. Let me just change the color so it's much visible. This is given, okay, that is also, this is known 90 degree because it's the right angle. Hypotenuse is known to be 32. This is the adjacent side. Why? Because the opposite is unknown, right? So we have to use cosine theta, that is adjacent by hypotenuse, and cosine 41 will be equal to opposite is adjacent is unknown divided by hypotenuse is 32. So it's just 32 multiplied by cosine 41 degrees. Now when you write 32, it's automatically taken as multiplication here. Okay, it's automatically considered that. It's 24.15. And what about this one here? So they have been given as this particular angle, they have given one of the side, but what do we need to find is what is the height of the formation. The height is required. You don't need to even, read through all that problem, just the height is unknown. So theta, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse is unknown. We don't need that because we have tan theta that tells us tan theta will be equal to opposite by adjacent. So all you do is tan 36 degrees will be equal to x by 43. So now if you take 43 to the other side, you just multiply 43 times tan 36. Or you can put the equation like this by using equal to an x. You will get the same answer, 31.24. So here 31.24 is supposed to be the exact value, but they have just taken a rounded off to the nearest meter. See, they have mentioned rounded to the nearest meter. So it will be 31, not the greater one, because less than 31.5, it will be just 31. Here as well, the last problem. So finally there, this is the theta. We know the hypotenuse. What do we need? Here we need to know how high is the first floor. Okay, high means the height, this one, not the width. If they are told the distance between the base and something, that would be the adjacent side. But now we need the opposite, that is x. So opposite by hypotenuse is given by sine theta, that is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. And over here sine theta is 15 degrees, that is equal to x by 60. So all you do is 60 to the other side multiplied by sine 15 degrees, that will be equal to x. So all you do is put in the calculator. Here it's 60 times sine 15. That's your answer. You write it as 15 point nearest tenth of a foot. So 15.5 would be the answer. Even you can put this equation. Look here, sine 15 will be equal to x, that is fraction x, divided by 60. You can just press shift and solve here. The answer will be 15.5. The same answer what we got. Round it off the nearest foot, nearest tenth of a foot, sorry. So that is your answer. And that is the end of all the multiple choice questions. If you have found these videos helpful, please share it with your friends. Let them know about this channel Best Math, where you can find all the end of term exam questions and exam lessons explanation for free. And I just want to thank all the students who like my videos, who share my videos, and all the gratitude comments. I really thank you so much. Your comments really make my day. A single thank you always puts a big smile on my face. Thank you very much. And I wish you all the best in your exams. I hope everyone does well. If you have any doubts, any clarifications, please do post them in the comments and I will get back to you.